welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. It is a beautiful Sunday. We're live on Instagram. Got the Rig 4 in the house. Got to play his theme song, of course. Shit. What's been going on, man? What's the 411?
Not much. Just good stuff happening at work throughout the week. You know, you guys always love to send in your love and DM all the crazy stuff that you guys like to ask about, that sort of thing. So it's always much appreciated. Just been working really hard, you know, and it's very clear that both of our efforts are kind of going into fruition with the growth of the channel, the success we've been seeing in our lives. So it's always a blessing to be here. You know what I mean?
Oh, most definitely, man. It's good. It's good to be back. I'll be looking forward to these days, dude, throughout the week. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get to Sunday, bruh. Because I'm telling you, it be dragging. Yeah. It be fucking dragging. But a lot has happened this week, so there's a lot we're going to talk about this week. Our boy did a lot of research on what's going on with the Lindsay Clancey case.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about that. So I'm excited to talk about that.
So he went ahead and did a bunch of research on it. You know, finally I didn't have to do all the research, man. You know, but let me know which video you want to start with. I know you sent in, like, I think it's about 7 of them.
Yeah.
So which one did you want to start with, and then just kind of let me know how we're gonna go through it.
So I just want to give like a quick synopsis really quick of what has kind of been transpiring. So if you don't know, Lindsay, I forget her last name, something
Clancey.
with it. Clancey, right? Lindsay Clancey. She was a woman who has allegedly been suffering from postpartum depression, right? So much so that now her children are dead, right? I'm going to leave it a little generic for right now. Her children are dead. She had a 5-year-old, I believe a 3-year-old, and a 8-month-old. They're all dead. She attempted to unalive herself, and now she's basically on trial, right? They're trying to figure out what happened. They're trying to get to the bottom of it. A lot of people are speculating a bunch of different things, right? So I sent in a bunch of videos really just talking about the facts of the entire scenario, what actually happened. Because I'll be honest, a lot of you women out there are saying, hey, she should be absolved of any wrongdoing because postpartum is a bitch, right? Doesn't matter that she is speculated to have killed her kids, as well as admitting to it right after the fuck of doing so. She was in psychosis from her postpartum depression. She's had a history of mental health issues leading up to the unalivement of her children, and her husband, right, is partially to blame for this, allegedly. So we're gonna get into it. I wanted to start with just the psychiatrist testify.
Oh, don't do that. So you got parents.
Psychiatrist testimony, right? Excuse me. But yeah, so we're gonna get into this. She's going to list off a bunch of different medications that she was on, as well as the process that psychiatrists kind of take to prescribe medications in a little bit, right? So,
okay.
Yeah.
Amitriptyline, diazepam.
I don't know. In my professional and humble...
Fuck? All right.
She was on amitriptyline, diazepam. I believe she was also on prescribed lorazepam. And there may have been one other.
Are you as a psychiatrist aware that Zoloft and or SSRI Prozac should not be prescribed to a patient who has bipolar?
Yeah, it can be prescribed. Oftentimes it's prescribed together with another medication that can be protective because patients with bipolar disorder may be experiencing depression. And so they may be prescribed an antidepressant, but along with another medication that what we call protective.
You knew, as a psychiatrist, at least looking at her history, you knew that she had been seeing psychiatrists immediately prior to her suicide attempt, correct?
Correct.
And Ambien, correct?
Correct.
and Zolpidem.
Yep, Zolpidem is the generic name of Ambien.
Oh, okay. Some of these drugs, they also have what's called a suicide warning or a black box warning. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what that means?
Yeah, so in studies that have been done, some of them show that especially after starting an antidepressant, it can increase someone's risk of suicidality. Many of those studies showed that it was mostly in adolescents and young adults, but it can happen in adults as well.
All of these drugs that we just went through were all prescribed from end of September till January.
Yes, September 2022.
A 4-month period.
Yes.
It's an awful lot of drugs to be prescribed in 4 months, isn't it?
Sustained. Doctor, all those drugs that defense counsel just listed, you're aware she wasn't on all of those drugs at the same time, correct?
Correct.
And did you know that many of those drugs she took a very small amount of? Some she didn't take any pills at all?
I was not aware of that.
For Buspar, which is one of the ones he mentioned, were you aware the first prescription she only took 2 pills out of that bottle?
I was not aware.
Were you aware the second prescription a month or so later for Buspar, she took 0 pills out of that bottle?
I was not aware.
So where are you getting this information about what she was on and when?
Yeah, so one of the things that we do is try to collect as much information as we can during our assessments. And so we look through the record in terms of what was prescribed. We also talk with other providers as to what they prescribe. But in the context of the assessments that we were doing, it did not require us to determine, what exactly she had been on before, because we were using a different set of medications to treat something, different symptoms that she was experiencing.
Okay. So you really have no idea what she was taking or when. You just know what was prescribed.
I know what was prescribed, and then we were also getting reports of what was being taken, what wasn't being taken. But
From the defendant?
Correct.
Okay.
She was on amitriptyline.
See, and so getting into that, right, just off of that by itself, right, this happened in September of 2022 up until January 2023, right? That's when everything took place. Was 2023 is when allegedly she killed her 3 children and tried to take her own life, right? From there, you can see that this woman, at that point in 2023, January 2023, her youngest was 8 months. Again, the defense counsel said, this is awfully a lot of drugs to be hit with all at once, right? So, of course, a lot of people want to speculate, there's got to have been something wrong. She must have had postpartum depression. She's got to have had, some type of bipolar, whatever, right? All these things were brought to light, but there has been no official diagnosis. She has not been labeled once with any of those conditions. She went in, she explained to the psychiatrist, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and then so they're just hitting her with a bunch of different medications that she's not even taking, right? Yeah. And I'm going to get into the next part. Let's see. There's another one here that explains what that, like a walkthrough of what kind of happened.
Is it this one? No.
It's not that one. There is... I'm not seeing the video. Should have been... There was a woman that was talking about it because she actually had postpartum depression and she was explaining it. Here, let's see if I can find it. Did I send it on? These are TikToks, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is everything you had sent. I mean, was it this one?
I think it was that one, actually, yeah.
Do y'all?
So this will get into the a first-hand account of a woman with actual postpartum depression, her experience, and what her experience is on the same prescriptions that Lindsay was prescribed, okay?
I think this woman, Lindsay Clancey, is the first person to kill someone because they're psychotic or a sociopath or they have mental health issues. Do you think that this is the first time in history that someone has murdered someone because of mental health issues? Do you genuinely think that? Do you think that school shooters are mentally sound? Do you think that they are mentally sound? No. And how many of those do you advocate for to go to an institution to be rehabilitated rather than prison? You don't. You don't. It's because it's gender bias. You hate men. You hate the patriarchy. You hate that the system favors men. And you are projecting it into a fucking murder case. Are y'all forgetting that strangulation is the most personal, angry way to take someone? This wasn't from across the room. She physically felt life leave the bodies with her own hands. And she didn't just do it once, as horrific as that would be, but she paused in between and kept going 3 times. Do y'all understand that her keeping track of the medications that providers were putting her on and making it look like she was on 15 fucking pills at once or in a 4-month span was probably just a very calculated attempt at having some sort of alibi? Okay, some people are just calculated. Yes, that includes women. Okay, she's not even claiming postpartum psychosis. Y'all are. Y'all are. You're making this some sort of mothers are neglected stance. She's not even claiming that. She's claiming that medications made her crazy. Okay?
Oh,
and I'm someone who has been on antipsychotics. I'm not talking Zoloft, Prozac. I am talking antipsychotics. I have been institutionalized multiple times. And I'm not proud of those days. They are way behind me, thank God. But what I am saying is that I know firsthand how cautiously cared for you are by the healthcare system if they are seeing that you are sick enough to put you on the medications that she was on. So what y'all are saying is that multiple providers should have their licenses revoked for that level of medical neglect and malpractice. That's what you're saying? That she can't be the common denominator. It's everyone else but her. The only way that legally these providers would have been able to just send her home with a prescription for a new pill is if she was dishonest. Okay? Is if she was dishonest and playing the medical field in a way that she knew would give her the list and alibi that she needed. No provider would have sent her home had she gone in saying, I'm thinking about wiping out my entire family. The first thing they ask you in any psychiatrist appointment, therapy appointment, hospital, outpatient program, you name it, first thing they ask you, are you having thoughts about harming yourself or others? And legally, they are not allowed to send you home if you say yes to either of those. So she knew, especially as a registered nurse, let's not forget your education doesn't go out the window because you have mental health problems. She knew damn well how to stay home with the impulses she was having. And let's not forget that she is not some poor, helpless, neglected mother. Her husband worked from home. She worked minimal hours. She had family living at the house. She had multiple doctors. She was institutionalized. What? Because they had 3 little kids and her husband was sometimes busy and couldn't stare at her 24/7? She was a fucking abused woman? Oh, well, he shouldn't have left her in the house and ran those errands. What's funny is that y'all would be saying the same thing if it was reversed. If he hadn't left the house, you would say that he's neglecting her because she needed that prescription. Obviously she needed that prescription and he failed her by not going to pick it up. He should be taking care of her. That's what a good husband would do. He would make sure that she's eating. He would make sure that she's medicated. Y'all would be saying the same thing if he hadn't left the house. So be so fucking for real. It's gender bias. There have been so many men in history that struggled with mental health issues and took out their family, and never once have you claimed empathy for them. You're actually putting words in her mouth. That's how far into this gender bias you'll go. You're claiming it's postpartum hormones. She never even claimed that. It's disgusting. And any mother defending her and trying to find some wave of empathy for her because you hate the fucking patriarchy, you should have your kids taken from you. Oops, I said it. You should have your kids taken from you. You do not deserve to be a mother. You are not a mother. Okay, to your core, you are not a mother. Either you're full of shit because you're trying to get brownie points on the internet, or your kids should be taken from you. No one is responsible for personally strangling 3 different children other than the person that strangled 3 different children. Period.
All right, she ranting now.
Yeah, she's ranting. To clear up one thing that she did say, she did not strangle her children with her bare hands.
Yeah, she did it with exercise bands.
She had exercise bands. That's from the pathologists themselves. There was, I forget the exact term, but there is a form of like laceration around the neck that
Mm-hmm.
pointed directly to using some type of object that's like rope-like or stretch-like.
And
you know?
there's DNA evidence of the children's like throat, skin, as well as blood on the bands.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it wasn't by hand. However, the point still does stand, right? She strangled all 3 of her children. Allegedly, in another video I just saw recently today, she stopped and made a phone call before she finished all 3. But that's, I'm going to call that hearsay because that's just something that I heard, right?
Yeah.
But the idea is still, like she said, you heard it not only from a woman, from a lady that had mental health issues as well, that has been institutionalized, that being on Prozac, Zoloft, they're a little bit more mild for more mild cases, right? As someone who's gone through mental health myself, as well as I've talked to others in real life, personal accounts, she's absolutely right. You talk to a therapist, you talk to a counselor, you talk to a psychiatrist, any one of them, even if you do say no, if you hesitate a little bit, if you say maybe or kinda, or if you don't say anything with a clear, definitive no to the question of are you thinking about harming yourself or others, they will make sure you're not going home. They will make sure you're not going home, right? And there's another video that I have pulled up of people saying, of a woman saying that she tried to seek help on multiple different occasions and she was not institutionalized or brought into inpatient care. And that in and of itself is a sign that either, right, those institutions should be taken down, or she was not actually serious about actually being institutionalized, right? Because you can show up to an institution and be like, hey, I want to be admitted. And they're like, is anything wrong? No. Do you want to hurt someone? No. Do you have like thoughts? No. They won't admit you because you don't meet the criteria. Just because you say, hey, I want to be institutionalized, and they're like, no, dude, like you have no reason to, right? That's like showing up to the hospital and be like, I'm dying. And they're like, is anything wrong? No, I don't have any pain. Okay, are you bleeding? No. So did you go through anything? No. They're not going to admit you because they're like, what's the point?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's, where is it at?
It's this one, right?
No, it's not that one. It's this one right here.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So we'll play this one.
A psychiatrist prescribes 25 milligrams of Zoloft, which is doubled within days. Lindsay reports that she hasn't slept in 48 hours. She has racing thoughts and worsening anxiety. On October 20th, Lindsay reports heart palpitations and says her mental health is getting worse. Her psychiatrist takes her off the Zoloft and prescribes Ativan and Benadryl. On November 16th, Lindsay goes to the ER and reports insomnia, anxiety, and heart palpitations. The doctor prescribes her Trazodone. 4 days later, on November 20th, Lindsay's mother-in-law contacts a prenatal behavioral health program who prescribes Prozac after Lindsay says she's, quote, very frustrated, scared, and has extreme insomnia and racing thoughts. 4 days after that, Lindsay reports the Prozac is making her insomnia worse, so she's prescribed Ambien, Remeron, and Klonopin. The very next day, she tells the practitioner that she is unable to determine what is real, is disoriented, forgetful, confused, and disconnected. 2 days later, on November 28th, Lindsay tells her care team that she's only getting 3 hours of sleep, she's disoriented and scared. They prescribe her Seroquel. On December 2nd, Lindsay reports she's suicidal and hearing things. Then, 3 days later, Lindsay calls a crisis hotline asking to be admitted, but they told her no because she didn't meet the criteria. The very next day, Patrick and Lindsay together go back to the practitioner who increases the Seroquel dose, even though Patrick said Lindsay was, quote, 10,000 times worse after starting it. On December 20th, Lindsay goes to the ER again, saying she's suicidal. The next day, Lindsay admits herself into a program, but is then removed because the doctor says she's just over-medicated. She doesn't have a mental health issue. Lindsay then admits herself into a different hospital, but is discharged with a script for Trazodone. On January 10th, a psychiatrist prescribes Valium and amitriptyline, and Lindsay Googles, what is a psychopath? On January 24th, Lindsay reports hearing a male voice say, quote, this is your last chance. Kill the children so you can kill yourself. Mid-October,
Again, so as you can see, multiple different clinics were like, dude, you're good. Like,
Yeah,
here's
nothing's wrong with you.
Here's a prescription. Like, we'll see where it goes. You're not like a threat to anyone or yourself. And I promise you, right, this is coming from a veteran with mental health disorder. I had a mental health condition, and as well as you've seen the other woman that explained it. The moment that a practitioner or a doctor, psychiatrist, any medical staff feels as you are a threat to yourself, you could be a threat to yourself or someone else, you will be admitted and they will assess you. The fact that she went to different clinics, different places, different resources for help, and they all were like, dude, there's nothing wrong with you, means that, one, again, they either should all be under investigation, scrutinized, or, evaluated for actual malpractice, or there was nothing wrong with her, right? Again, you can show up to a hospital and be like, I need to be admitted. And they're like, dude, okay, so what's wrong with you? Nothing. Then go home. Then go home.
My thing is, I'm crazy. It's crazy that I follow this case only just a little bit, not obviously not as much as you have, but the fact that she didn't even claim postpartum psychosis.
Yes.
That to me was like, wait, what?
Exactly.
But then where is everybody getting this from?
Exactly.
All right.
And then that's what I'm getting at, right? Is you women will sit up here, and as soon as you see a mom in peril, immediately like, she's crazy, you can't hold her accountable. No. There's such a fear of accountability in women that they will try to stop other women from accountability.
Bro.
Even though herself, she choked her children to death, there's another video, I'm not sure if I shared it, there's another video where the receiving doctor of Lindsay, I keep forgetting her last name. Clancey. Of Lindsay Clancey looked at all of the cuts and lacerations on her neck, her arms, and he stated that most of them were non-life threatening. As a nurse, you would know, of all things, right, what is a threatening cut or laceration to what vital veins, right? To what arteries, veins, whatever. To sit up here and cut just enough to where you're bleeding, you're in pain, whatever, but not actually go through and cause yourself enough harm to actually take yourself out, that's a red flag, right? You just, in my mind, there's too much knowledge of the medical field for you to know to be in these situations that are just enough but not fully there, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly why, because again, you could take some of the more mild medications and be like, damn, this is kind of rough, but I'll go through it to raise this act of being psychotic, right?
Yeah.
Because again, the woman that explained it earlier, she's been on antipsychotics. These are powerful drugs. These are drugs that will alter your mind so that reality comes back to you because you're not able to be in full reality, right? So this is why, of course, someone who's not psychotic is 10,000 times worse. Again, we don't have that actual quote from anywhere credible. That woman just said we have this quote that she's 10,000 times worse on these psychotics from the husband, right? But that's why someone who's not psychotic, if they start taking different mental health prescriptions, are going to be 10,000 times worse because there's actually nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, and they also tried to say, like, because he crushed up her pills that he was trying to do something to her medication. And I'm like, first off, nurses were even saying that those that are chronically ill like that, they take what is it called? They take cocktails of medications frequently, every single day. Nobody wants to take pills every single day. And so since they don't want to take pills every single day, they crush them up. Why? I know this because my ex-fiance was a chronically ill person and I had to crush up her pills all the time and, put it in some water or something like that. And so that was another thing that I did see on there. And I was like, that is very asinine to kind of think that he was doing something to her medication because she was just crushing it up, when a lot of nurses, it's also recommended, like even when the doctors give you that medication, they will ask a person who is either taking care of them, a spouse or a partner or whatever, they will say that. They'll say, hey, if they refuse to take their medication, what you can do is you can crush it up and put it into something and have them drink it, because it'll then be easier for them. A lot of times patients will refuse to take their medications just for the simple fact that they have to take pills, and nobody wants to swallow one pill at a time, and that takes a long time. So even doctors say that, and a lot of nurses were even backing that up too. And I was like, I thought that was weird. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why would you guys sit there and think that?
And there's also a lot of speculation on the husband, right? That his timeline is no longer meshing like it did, where originally people were like, nah, minute by minute, they knew exactly where he was. There's no question that he had no involvement. Now there's some more speculation where apparently he sent an email from home when he was supposed to be gone. I don't know. There's new evidence that is just coming out, right? Because originally the husband was absolved of all wrongdoing. I'm not going to get too far into that, because at the end of the day, there's just, if it was blaring evidence, I think it would have came out by now, right? And it doesn't seem like there's blaring evidence that the husband had anything to do with the killings or neglecting or whatever, right? So for myself, because he testified in court. Has anyone ever told you shouldn't leave your wife alone with the kids? No. Is there any reason in your mind that you feel like you shouldn't have left your wife alone with the kids? No. And there was multiple lines of questioning that stated like, hey, she may have been having a rough time, but there was absolutely nothing in my mind or from someone else's mind that was brought up to me that I should not leave my wife with my kids. You know what I mean? So this to him was also out of the blue, as well as they haven't released it, but the 911 call of... There's people talking about it. The 911 call to from the husband to obviously, emergency services is out there somewhere, right? However, it hasn't been released yet. No one's really played the audio yet. But the people talking about it explain that the actual pain in this man's voice, because he found his wife first and was like, what the hell? Found his wife first, immediately called 911, was trying to find where the kids were. And then he found the kids, and from there, they said that it just became an absolute...
Was it true that he found the kids in the basement? Or was that just...
That's what it was said, yeah. They said that he went down to the basement, and he found the kids, all three of them down there.
Okay. Because I've been hearing a lot of different... some people are saying that they found them in their rooms, and then some people were saying that she moved all of them from their rooms to the basement. So again, I didn't know if that was true or not, because it would make sense that she would try to hide it, but there are a lot of people that are saying that somebody in that mindset wouldn't try to hide it because they don't feel like they did anything wrong.
Yeah.
So they would just leave the kids where they are. So I was like, okay, that does make sense. But then there are a lot of people that are like, well, she was of sound mind because of the fact that she was very coherent when the husband came home. And so since she was coherent when the husband came home, enough to have a conversation with him, enough to, try to stop him from, making a 911 call, apparently, her putting the kids into the basement, would make sense because she would try to hide it because she's of sound mind. But I don't know. That was something I was seeing conflicting on, but I guess, okay, since they were in the basement.
Yeah, they were in the basement.
Okay.
As well as, again... another hearsay story, because I see people talking about it in the comments. Allegedly, and again, I don't know how multiple times you would have a wife that says hey, yeah, I absolutely did this. Myself, I did it. Apparently, there's none of her DNA on the exercise bands that were used to choke the children.
I did hear about that.
Yeah,
I did. They tried to state that, but that was debunked by a pathologist in the court. What happened is the son's DNA is very close to the father's DNA, and so they call this DNA mixing, or they call it a mix. They're dealing with this same thing in the Charlie Kirk assassination, where they're talking about the screwdriver as well as the towel and parts of the rifle. So Tyler Robinson's like boyfriend or whatever, he also touched a lot of these items, and so his DNA was on it as well.
Yep.
Now it's about the percentage of DNA that is on these items.
Yeah.
And so the the DNA oncologist, I think is their real title. She stated that because the son's DNA is so close to the father's DNA, it will come up and flag as the father.
Yeah.
And it's like as if I committed a murder and I did something, and then they bring up the DNA and my dad's DNA is on it. Now, if they can't put my dad anywhere close to where the murder happened, either through cell phone pings or through locational data as far as like cameras, whatever the case may be, they will kind of rule him out, like, okay, it didn't happen. So I think that's why the footage of him in the restaurant, him in the CVS, or I think it was the CVS, right? Yeah, that's why that footage mattered, because they were like, okay, where could he have been to like rule his DNA out?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the reason why they did that. But yeah, they had already kind of debunked that, where they're just like, no, the father's DNA couldn't have been the like cause of those exercise bans, just for the simple fact that does happen.
Yeah.
It will flag as their father, or as the DNA giver is how they call it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, where again, they had originally stated that there was a minute by minute playbook of where the husband had been. There's only a new speculation because again, you think about a crisis situation. I don't know why you'd be sending emails, but there's a little bit of a speculation where he kind of lost track of when he sent a particular email, and they're like, "Oh, was it from home, or was it from your iPhone or whatever?" And a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, it should have a tag that says emailed via iPhone or whatever." Oh yeah,
sent from iPhone.
Via iPhone, but iPhone has already stopped that notification. That's no longer on the newer iOS updates. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can't really just say like, oh, it didn't say via iPhone, then it couldn't have been that. That's a different tag depending on what iOS version you have. So
okay.
Again, there's nothing really tying him specifically to the crime scene, as well as, again, I don't know why we're looking at the husband so hard when he's lost all 3 of his kids.
Well, see, the thing is they're looking at the husband because of like court of public opinion. Okay. Yeah, you have to realize in a lot of cases like this, they have to look at all of the angles, because the DA, which is a district attorney, and the district attorney is pretty much the head of the prosecution. And so when he looks at these cases and they're bringing it to trial, a lot of times in order for them to have like a quote unquote fair trial, they have to look at the court of public opinion first. And if people are saying, oh, the husband because of X, Y, and Z, oh, the husband because of this happenstance, or because of this evidence, because of this, because of that, they have to look into that stuff, because they can't rule it out, or else, it could be a thing of they're playing like biasy, or they're playing that. So I can see why the DA is looking at everything in its entirety. Look, I agree. She fucking did this bullshit. There's no doubt in my mind. I can see you guys in the comments are like, she fucking did this. And I'm like, I agree. Yeah. I agree. But at the same time, it's also good to look at all of the evidence all at once. But it's just like, dude, it's one of those things. Okay. And, I also wanted to break down, because I looked this up myself, because they talked about postpartum psychosis and all that kind of stuff. So I did a little bit of research on this stuff, because I wanted to know like what was going on with it. And obviously a lot of people have talked about it. I'm going to see if I can zoom this bad boy in. Oh man. Okay. All right, y'all niggas will have to just zoom in yourself. But yeah, so, I looked into it a little bit. Obviously not like too much, but because I wanted to know kind of what it was. Why are you being gay? Why are you gay? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I was like, I wanted to see what postpartum psychosis was, and so obviously postpartum psychosis is a rare, severe medical emergency affecting about 1 to 2 of every 1,000 women after childbirth. Strikes very quickly, usually within the first 2 weeks, causing a complete break from reality, hallucinations, delusions, extreme confusion, and rapid mood swings. It requires immediate hospital care, and so. I was like, okay. And obviously this just kind of breaks down like what happens between each thing. And so I wanted to know, how long does this like typically last?
Yeah.
How long is this, go on in the woman's mind, in her body, how long it affects her? They say from 2 to 12 weeks with proper treatment. This is something that, they can get a handle of. Yeah. Okay. This is not something where doctors, like you said, medicine has gone so far to where we're able to find concoctions and we're able to find things that are able to be, to help battle this. And so from 2 to 12 weeks is usually with proper treatment, they can kind of get to a point where they call, and I'm going a little bit ahead, but they call it the recovery phase. Okay.
Yeah.
So so within 2 to 12 weeks, they're able to get into the recovery phase very soon. And so then it kind of breaks it down a little further where it's like after the 2 to 12 weeks, which they call the acute phase, which is right here, they call the acute phase. Then you kind of get into the 3 to 6 month range. So now they like to call it the post-psychotic depression, or, where they show high periods of high anxiety. That's obviously right here. High periods of anxiety, low confidence often follows the initial recovery. The initial recovery requiring ongoing therapy and medication arrangements. So, if other things show up, if, it gets worse, they might have other cocktails, like I mentioned before, that will kind of allow them to kind of keep their high anxiety, maybe boost their confidence a little bit, just keep their emotions regular. Now, the 6 to 12 month, it does not include postpartum psychosis. The reason why is because the 6 to 12 month plus period is only for sleep patterns. Okay. So when a patient gets to that point, what the 6 to 12 plus months is that stabilizes sleep patterns, bonding with the baby, as well as full mental functioning is progressively restored. So that has no effect with it. So at most, what this tells us is that if she did have postpartum psychosis, it would only have lasted up to 6 months. When did she have this? Well, she had this roughly a month after she had her 8-month-old baby. So she would have this for 7 months.
Right.
So it makes no sense for you guys to sit there and say that she strangled an 8-month-old baby if she was actually taking her medications and everything was okay. And she was doing what she was supposed to be doing, and the husband was tampering with so much.
Yeah.
It's like, no. She would be in the recovery phase. She would be starting to recover. Yeah, she would have that. She would have low self-esteem or anxiety and low confidence, stuff like that. Now, I went further, and I asked, now, would in the 3 to month period, would high anxiety and low confidence cause them to want to end someone's life? No. As it's highlighted here, no. The high anxiety and low confidence typically of the 3 to 6 month post-psychotic depression phase do not typically cause someone to want to end a life. Meaning that if she was even in this 3 to 6 month area, okay, mind you, the postpartum psychosis part, the main part of it, only typically lasts up to 12 months. Okay, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
12 weeks. I'm sorry. So she would have been in this recovery phase of the 3 to 6 months. But the thing is even if she was in the 3 to 6 months, that there would be no symptoms within that 3 to 6 months that would make her kill her children.
Right.
Meaning that she was of sound mind and body when she unalived her children.
And there's an important part. Scroll back up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's an important part here. It says, without immediate psychiatric intervention, the condition can last much longer, worsen rapidly, and become highly dangerous. However, fortunately, with a strong combination of medication, treatments, social support, the vast majority of women make a complete recovery. So even if somehow she was not medicated, she had gone without any type of help, right? The husband was there the whole time. It would have gotten worse. Yes, it would have gotten worse. There would have been worse scenarios, right? But the husband stated himself, I didn't notice anything. And that's not because he didn't pay attention and help. He was there most of the time. He didn't notice anything because there wasn't any of those symptoms. Yeah. Right? During this time, right, from September to January, right, that's about 4 months, you know? That falls well within the 3 to 6 month period, again, like we were just stating. From there, she started seeking help. Yeah. Right? And again, you could say typically she might have been one of the outliers. No. Typically, the majority of women make a complete recovery. Meaning that with these medications, somehow, right, again, if she was worsening, they would have admitted her, but they didn't admit her. She had a cocktail of different medications because of what she brought to the psychiatrist, the different practitioners, all that, trying to figure out what was wrong with her. And apparently none of it was working. And then randomly, on a random day in January, she's like, yeah, dude, I heard a man's voice say, you know, this is your last chance. We're doing this, you know. And then again, as someone myself, I've suffered hallucinations, auditory hallucinations. You can determine you can somewhat make out what's real and what's not. You may have to check with people around you. Okay. But the idea that she had family, her husband, other people around, doctors that she was talking to, where she said, I can't tell what's real, what's not real. Yeah. She had other avenues that were back checking her on what exactly she was experiencing and telling her what could be possible, like outliers or what's not real or possible solutions. She had the support that she needed. Yeah. She just was looking for a laundry list to get her just enough so that way she could say she was psychotic. Hence why she looked up, in my opinion, what is a sociopath, a psychopath? Yeah. How can I fit that in the definition that I want to give myself?
Yeah. Now, when you were in the situation of like hearing voices in your head and stuff like that, was it your voice or was it someone you knew's voice?
No. So, and that's the thing, right? If you've been a Marine, you know about sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is very important. So again, when she was talking about I have insomnia, yada yada, right? As someone that stayed up for more than 72 hours straight, the first thing you start to hallucinate is audio cues, right? Audio hallucinations, like I said. So again, it's not. It may not always be your voice, like you know. Okay. It may not be your voice, but at the same time, you have the ability to understand, is this real or not? So when I would hear things, it would kind of strike me as like, you know, was that real? Okay. And you can check it out, right? You may have enough sanity to, again, because audio hallucinations are a little bit different than actual vivid visual hallucinations, right? Audio hallucination, again, I've heard music playing, I've heard people call me, I've heard people say things to me, right? Okay. And you look up at them at their face and they're like, dude, I didn't say anything, right?
Oh, okay.
So there's the thing where you can still like hear things and it's real. You're like, dude, no, I definitely heard that. But again, if you have other checks to what's real and what's not, you can very clearly make the distinction like, there's kind of something going on here.
So do you think that because they're saying that the voice that she heard was her husband's voice saying to kill the kids. Remember, we watched that video and it was saying like, hey, you're running out of time, kill the kids. Do you think that it's possible that she heard her husband's voice saying that, and that is what made her feel like, you know, she didn't do anything wrong, or that would make her feel like this was okay to do? Like, obviously,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that, and obviously you're giving me some information, because for me, I was like, bullshit, bro. She heard that in her own voice, and she's just blaming it that it was his voice. But now that you say that, you know, other people were saying stuff, and you were just like, hey, did you say something? No, I didn't. You know what I mean? it could have some credence to she was hearing her husband's voice, and that might have like made her feel it was okay. Obviously that's not going to take away from the fact that she did it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, in her own mind, would that, you know, be a possibility in your opinion?
So it's, in my mind, I would say it's a possibility. There's just the idea that, again, she would have to have heard that and then done no other checks, no other
Okay.
like look for like, is this valid?
She
Or
just heard it
She
and
just heard it and did it. Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, she would have
okay.
just had to heard it and did it, right?
Okay.
Which again, that would, you know, coincide with psychosis, because you're like, dude, like, you know, I heard it, I had to do it, you know, there was something that came over me, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's no evidence to that being any, like, having any validity, because again, she said that happened, but she then didn't go to court and testify like, yes, I had psychosis, or I had postpartum, and again, none of the practitioners that saw her or anything actually diagnosed her with any type of mental disease.
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of hard to where if you're taking like a person that's spiraling down the rabbit hole, kind of looking at them, she said, I don't know what's real and what's not. But she had the discernment to say like, yeah, I've been experiencing things that are not, that I don't know if they're real or if they're not.
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't mean that everything that she's experienced, she's acted upon. Up until this specific, where it's like, this is the time to kill them and then kill yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only one that she's acted on and seen as like, yeah, this is what is actually real. This was something that I need to act on. So that's where it strikes me as like, all right, if you had heard that and did no other checking, you just immediately listened to that voice, then, you know, that actually makes no sense to me, right?
Okay,
Especially as someone that's experienced.
That would be a red flag.
That's a
of
red
like,
flag,
Whoa. Okay. Now, I have another question. Did she attempt to end her own life?
That's a good question, right? And there's a whole nuance that goes into when someone's taking their own life, what each action that they do says, right? Because a lot of the time it's someone that you know that does not look like they're going to take their own life, right?
Yeah.
Which there's
Yeah.
evidence here that she would fit that bill, because a lot of people said she was very normal, having very casual conversations. She seemed very normal, and she did X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
But again, the prosecution examined the receiving doctor for her, and they said most of her cuts were not life-threatening, right?
Oh, okay. So she attempted, but it was very half-assed.
Very
attempted.
half-assed, very haphazard, right?
Okay.
And so with that information in it, right, a doctor testified, hey, most of them are not life-threatening, right? As well as some of them were considered deep to the doctor's standpoint, right? However, the prosecution wanted it specifically known that deep does still not fit the bill of life-threatening, right? They wanted that discernment of, that just means it was deep in depth, but still not considered life-threatening.
So even if she had a deep gash in her arm, that did not signify she was trying to end her life.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the prosecution wanted that to be labeled or put out there very clearly, right?
Yeah.
And even the doctor himself didn't argue that, right?
Okay.
Deep does not have a synonymous meaning to life-threatening.
Okay. Yeah, because that was one thing that I haven't really heard anybody talk about on that side of, like, he came home and he found her.
Yeah.
So I was like, I thought she was she was going to end her life. Not supposed to, I'm sorry. She was going to end her own life, and then she didn't. And I'm like, why didn't she?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that goes, I think that gives more credence to she was of sound mind, you know, when she did it, because of the fact that, like, no sane person, I'm sorry to say it, is going to, like, commit a violent act and then end their own life unless they feel like I'm not going to get out of this.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do to get out of this and that, unless they premeditated something that would allow them and set it up to be like, okay, yeah, I'll be able to get away with it. And that's what I feel like she was in. She looked at it like, okay, I've set everything up perfectly to where I can do this and it's not going to come back on me.
Yeah.
And if it does come back on me, well, I'm just this crazy kooky lady that my husband didn't know how to take care of, and it's all good. And I'm thinking, like, I'm sorry, but a psychotic, drugged up person is not going to be able to think like that.
Yeah.
They're just not. They'll do it, and they'll do it extremely sloppy. Yeah. I think a drugged up psychotic person would have done this with a knife. They would have stabbed those children. There'd have been blood all over the place. Yeah. They'd be walking out in the street with blood all over their clothes, and somebody would find them and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is going on? What happened? I think that's how that would happen. But this was like cold, calculated, like everyone was saying, strangulation is not something that just happens immediately. Yeah. It takes up to 3 to 5 minutes to actually kill someone from strangulation. Yeah. That's a long time to be sitting there applying pressure to someone's neck. Yeah. So it's like, bro, and she did that 3 times. Yeah. So you're telling me at most you were there for 20 minutes? Yeah. Strangling your kids? Yeah. Like it's a long time.
And to that point, there's been multiple other cases throughout history that women do intimate things like this, right?
Yeah.
There's Angelica Yates, I think is her name. She drowned 4 or 5 of her children, right? Ranging from age 7 down to, I think it was like 3 months, right? There's shoot, I can't think of another one of her name. Is it or Angela Yates? I think is what it is.
Is it Angela?
Is it?
Yeah, here it is. Right.
Yeah.
Here.
So this is another story. She drowned her children, 5 children, in a bathtub while suffering from postnatal depression, is what it says, right?
Yeah. So Andrea Yates, the Texas woman convicted in 2002 of drowning her 5 children in a bathtub while suffering from postnatal depression, has been granted a new trial after it was found that an expert medical witness for the prosecution had lied at her original trial. So Dr. Park Diaz, a mental health expert who appeared for the prosecution, who was also a consultant for the television program Law and Order, had told the trial jury that there was an episode of that program in which a woman with postpartum depression who drowned her children in the bath was found insane. He said it was aired shortly before Miss Yates carried out the same actions. So she pretty much saw this on TV and was just like, that's how I do it.
Yep. And then right after that, it says 3 judges appealed court panel in Houston, said last week that statement was false. There was no such episode. The falsehood had been discovered shortly after the jury convicted Miss Yates, but before she was sentenced. So, yeah, right after that, she was sentenced to life in prison. So, again,
they
were like, she's not insane. Yeah. Get her out of here, right?
Get her out of here, bro. Goku.
She drowned 5 of her children.
Damn.
And they tried to claim the exact same thing, and they're like, no. Go to jail for life. She's not insane. You don't drown 5 children. And, again, so it's another one of those things where there hasn't been a confirmed case of actually postpartum depression causing women to actually want to kill their kids. It is a scapegoat, but it is definitely not a factual thing that has the potential to make mothers kill their own kids.
Yeah. I'm trying to find.
These are all women that wanted some form of freedom from motherhood, right? They couldn't accept the reality, and I will say that to me is insane. But you have to be of sound mind to come to that determination, right?
Yeah. And so apparently drowning can happen very quickly. It takes about 20 to, it can occur in as little as 20 to 60 seconds.
In very small amounts of water.
Yeah. So, like, she did it in a swimming pool, right?
No, she did it in a bathtub.
Oh, in a bathtub. Okay.
She took her 5 children.
She did it in a bathtub.
Yeah.
So, obviously that
ranging
right
from
here,
age 7 to, I think it was 3 months or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's right there. So
5 children. She drowned them all.
20 to 60 seconds.
And she tried to have the same claim of, I was, postpartum depression, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
No, the court was like, no, you're done. You're going to jail for life.
And I think that's what's going to happen with this this Clancey case, bro. Lindsay Clancey, I guarantee you they're gonna keep digging into this, and they're gonna find that she did this shit, and she was of sound mind when she did it. Because like I said, I looked up postpartum psychosis, and at most she would have been dealing with this up to 12 to 16 weeks, dude. There's no way that she would have been in like this psychiatric state for months on months on months. I'm sorry to say it, her youngest was 8 months years old. So even if we gave it the benefit of the doubt, we would say 7 months, according to the literature that we just looked at. 7 months would have been the most amount of time that she would have kind of been in this situation of like dealing with different cocktails and medication, dealing with the hallucinations, depression, high anxiety. But by up until the month that she actually did this, she would have been in what's called the recovery phase. She would have at least been starting the 3 to 6 month phase. And so in that phase, I even looked it up. I said, how in that recovery phase would the symptoms of the recovery phase lead to someone ending someone's life? And they say no. They say no, that it doesn't. When they're in that recovery phase, which that kind of like through the timeline, that's where it lands her. If the postpartum psychosis thing is to be believed, obviously she was never diagnosed this. This is not a diagnosis that she claimed, that a doctor claimed, or any of the psychiatrists claim. This is just kind of like people saying, oh yeah, this fits the bill. This fits the bill. So that's fine. We'll take that narrative. But even if you take that narrative, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's no symptoms within that phase that would make her end someone's life. Even if we go all the way up to 7 months, it's not there.
Yep.
So again, it's like, yes, she was of sound mind when this happened.
And she had also given birth 2 times before this 8-month-year-old. So she has had ample experience with postpartum, possibly postpartum depression, her hormones being off, right? And of course, every birth is different. But at the same time, you can't tell me what you're telling me is like what the majority is telling me, that the husband saw all these symptoms and was like, I don't give a fuck, dude. She's just so fucking annoying. I'll let her kill the kids. I'll let her be psychotic. You know what I mean?
They think that because he got remarried.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you bitches are just mad. He got remarried.
Yes.
Because look, bro, they were saying, oh, he was cheating. They were saying, oh,
all
he was
this shit.
And my thing is like, look, even if this nigga was cheating,
right,
it would not make him kill his children.
Yeah.
If anything, he would have killed her.
Yes.
He would have killed her and would have taken the children. He wouldn't have killed the kids and left her alive, bro, if she was cheating, or if he was cheating. Let's say,
that's an interesting fact too, because I'm like, it's more so when it's a man committing some murders like this, men don't typically kill the children when it's this type of thing.
No.
More so they kill, like you said, they kill the wife, and then the children are left up to the state. You know what I mean? They just want nothing to do with the kids.
Yeah.
But in this case, right, again, like you said, even if he was cheating and she was such a problem, he would have, like you said, it's more likely he would have killed her than have killed the children and be like, yeah, I'll let her go to jail for life. That legitimately makes no sense in a man's mind.
No sense. No.
None.
Why would I leave the one person that could literally put me in jail for the rest of my life alive?
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
Yep.
And then on top of that, most guys that are trying to get out of a marriage via cheating and they don't want to do it, by divorcing, a lot of times what they do is they will hire somebody and say, hey, look, I'm gonna be out going to doing my thing, and then you break in, and you get into a tussle and oops, she got stabbed, or her jugular got cut, whatever. And so again, it's like, it doesn't make sense that he would be the one who killed the children in any of these stories. Whether you take the postpartum story, whether you take the he cheated story, whether you try to look at the DNA evidence, you try to look at the medicine evidence, like, I'm sorry to say it, bro, but like, she's cooked.
As well as, again, you want to bring up the idea of gender, right? A pathologist will be able to determine the amount of force put on those children's neck, whether it's man or woman, right? So if any of you want to come for that idea of like, oh, you know, it was him, but he's just like framing it as her, whatever the fucking case you guys are trying to argue, a pathologist will know that evidence because of the amount of force applied to the neck.
Yeah, and the reason we know this is because of the Nolan Wells case.
Yep.
So in the Nolan Wells case, his throat had a lot of bruising and lacerations on it. And what the pathologist found out was that, you know, and this came from the independent autopsy, not the state autopsy, let's get that correct, is that there was like blunt force to the front and the back of his neck, meaning that most likely he was either choked out or there was something that blocked his pathway to that, or that was pressing on the throat. And it's the reason why they kept the throat to further examine, to kind of see, was this more of a strangulation kind of thing, or was this more of just like a drowning, or, you know, he could have like choked on something, or, you know what I mean? They're trying to rule everything out. And so that's what he's getting at, is the fact that in this case, they can tell how much force was exerted onto the neck. They can see that. And so again, you know, we kind of know what we're talking about, just obviously because of previous cases we've talked about. And so it just, he's right on that.
There will be a clear distinction between an insomniac, drugged up, postpartum mother strangling their child, and a fully conscious male that's, you know, using all his force to strangle his 3 children, right? There's a clear
even if he's on crackhead time, it's still gonna show stronger lacerations,
way stronger
than she will on crackhead time. They could be both crackheads and high on whatever they want to be on, but the force exerted on the throat is going, because we already know that the weapon of choice to end these kids' lives was exercise bans. We already know that. Everyone agrees with that. But the thing is it's the amount of force that was exerted onto their throats that is going to kind of be a determining factor of which party was the one that did it. Because again, if I'm being real with you, we talked about this again in the Nolan Wells case. It does not take much force to break a neck. It really doesn't. It does not. It happens. He showed a video of a guy literally pushing a guy over and he broke his neck. You know what I mean? This guy just fell over and neck broken and he died. So it doesn't take a lot of force. So if a grown ass man is pulling on child's necks, he will break that neck. But they didn't say any of that when they
said they died of strangulation.
They didn't die of a broken neck. So I would assume that if this was a man doing this, he would exert enough force to break their neck before they even strangled to death. So again, it's one of those things where you also got to look at that too. You know what I mean? The monopoly of force. You know, when you look at the different forces, and we even talked about this yesterday when we looked at the female Marines versus the gamers. You know, like we looked at their different body types and training and stuff like that, and how much force they'd be able to push and pull when it came to that. And that's why the girls won the deadlift so easy. You know what I mean? They're used to that. Their body frames support that. You know, and so again, there's also those things to look into as well. But did you have anything else on the Clancey case before we hop into the next topic?
That's pretty much it. You know,
I know you had some other videos we didn't get to. There was this one and there was this one, or it was just these 3. But I don't know if maybe that just reiterates the points that we were talking about.
Yeah, so those are pretty much just all 3, like accountability. Like, you women need to stop fucking blaming something that's not real just to try to get another woman out of accountability type thing. You know what I mean? So they're not too important as far as the facts to this case. All
right, we're gonna get into our next one. This shit had me livid, bro. All right, so obviously, you know, you guys have seen the title. It's, you know, a blind girl literally broke up with her husband. Why? Because he wasn't attractive enough. And you're thinking to yourself, how the fuck does a blind girl know that her man is attractive or not? But as you'll see, it's simply because you know, she's an online personality, but it's simply because the people around her and her friends were telling her, "Oh, girl, you can do better. Oh, girl, you know, your guy is ugly. He's this and that." And it's like, it goes to show you, and I've said this so many times. I've said this so many fucking times. The reason nice girls finish last is because of their fucking friends. It's because of their fucking friends.
And I have one video I want to play right before this, right? Because it explains exactly also, because of course people are going to be like, oh, she's blind. Like, how the fuck would she know? This is another blind like account on like how would they know if a person's attractive or not.
I think you did send that video already, if
I think
I'm being
I
honest
did.
with you.
I don't think we got to it on one.
This one, it's right here. This one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
You already sent it. Okay. Here, we'll watch this one first, and then.
Actual blind girl says she sees how hot people are treated because she can't see if they're hot or not.
Yeah.
So she will say, I'm going to get it like wrong because I don't remember exactly what she said. It was like 2 weeks ago, but she said something along the lines of, there'll be people that I hear who are like boring as shit, and everyone wants to be friends with them. And she goes, that's how I know they're hot. And she goes,
this is the blind chick. That's her page. I was pretty sure I sent in the actual clip of her confirming that as well, but that's what I was like looking for. But the point still stands because she reacted to that video. Blind people can know, and it goes back to women and status, right? A woman is not going to want to be with an ugly person because that not only, right, is personality, you know, important, right? It's not. But the idea is...
Well, for a woman it is.
Right. To an extent. You know what I mean? There's more that goes into it, right? Yeah, you can have a good personality but have bad, like, status and other qualities about you that play into why they consider you ugly, right? Because 100%... She goes to state in her video originally that you can tell if someone's attractive by how boring as fuck they are, but how people still act as if they're interesting, right? And that's the status that plays into it, where it's like, hey, I know my man is either attractive or ugly because of how people treat him, right? So she's going to want to, her attraction's going to build off of that social proof, right? Where if her man goes out places, does whatever, and is getting treated a certain way, she's like, dude, why are people treating him a certain way? And then you want to add on top of the fact of friends treating her a certain way, it just becomes this big conundrum of like, yeah, dude, my man is actually ugly, no matter how much I like his personality. But yeah, we can play the video and we'll get more into it.
So a blind woman broke up with her boyfriend because he was too ugly, just to end up getting robbed by the new boyfriend she replaced him with. Alright, bro, stop sending me these stories, yo.
People always ask me, if you're blind, are you not scared of accidentally dating someone ugly? And I'm here to tell you, guys, I did for like nearly 2.5 years, guys.
Some of you know her from this viral video where even though she can't see, she can always smell and feel that her husband is near. Yeah, well, she left him because he was too ugly. Bro, how you know? Like, you might want to look in the mirror, shawty. Oh, okay. Then the dude she tried to replace him with emptied out her bank account.
I got ghosted by a man that took loads of money out of my bank account in front of my face. But obviously I didn't know he was doing it.
I feel bad for bro. Imagine your girl blind and she tell you that you too ugly to be with her. And then you got some feeding into the delusion. Talking about some, you guys don't know she's allowed to have her preference with you. Bro, that man was with her for 2 years while she's blind helping her. And she left him because he quote-unquote too ugly? How does she even know he ugly? Did she feel another guy's face and was like, oh, wow, so this is what a pretty face look like. Okay, my man is ugly then.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, like with her case, it was simply that it was people around her. It was her friends and people. Because you got to understand, when that video that he had showed that went viral and whatnot, you know, she wasn't really like an online presence and personality, and now that she's an online personality and you know she's got all of this like pseudo fame, if you will, that's just where that comes from. It just comes from a lot of people around her that are like, oh girl, you could do better, oh girl, you know, you don't have to settle for this, da, da, da. And it's like, bro, why in the hell would she want to go with somebody that you guys perceive is better for her when she has somebody she knows is good for her? This dude was there 2 years taking care of her. That's not easy. Taking care of somebody who is has a disability or mental illness or whatever. Like, as somebody who's done it, I'm like, bro, that shit ain't easy. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? And then she gets with a guy that everyone deems is good for her. And what happens? That nigga was right in her face, was just like, give me all that money, bitch. Yeah. Like, bro, like, come on, man. So, I only show this to further illustrate my point of like, nice girls finish last for the simple fact that their friends tell them and that the guy that they're with, the guy that they should be with and being real with you, they say he's not good enough and he's not this and he's not X, Y, and Z. They think the grass is greener on the other side, and guess what? It ain't.
And it boils down to not only that social proof, but the status of a man, right? Because I guarantee you, right, if you look at the dude, he's not fucking ugly. He's just like a normal everyday dude, right? She had no inclination of, his status, no idea of like what his status truly was until she became popular on social media. Her status started to raise, and all the people talking all that shit of like, dude, you deserve so much better, yada, yada, yada. That spotlighted his status as a man, and it absolutely destroyed their connection, right? Yeah. Because she, at first, before the internet, was okay with his status, was okay with his personality, was okay with him as a man, right? Until it was spotlighted and put in front of the larger crowd, the social media crowd, and like you said, not only her friends, but women online were like, dude, you could do so much better. So she then dropped the idea of like, dude, his status is not really what I thought it was.
It's crazy, though, because he's the one that gave her the status.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? Yep. I gave you this. The platform that you have is because of me.
Yep.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
he didn't have his own.
True.
That's the problem.
She was the star and he was the cameraman.
Yeah, he was the cameraman.
Yeah.
He didn't have his own status. And that's because 100%.
Okay.
This is why exactly the video you're bringing up, Drake is still relevant after all the shit that he's done.
Yeah.
Because he still has status to his name.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm playing this video to illustrate that it's like when you have money and high status, you can fucking do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
And bitches are going to be okay with it.
Exactly.
I saw this video and it boiled my fucking blood. I'm like, nigga, I'm going to play it first. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. By the way, you can look me down in my eyes. If
you barely hear this shit. What the fuck?
I would.
Okay. You're saying this, and now I'm going to, like, test it.
Okay. What do we... Just give me, like, one...
Would you bark for me? Good boy.
Yeah.
You know what the role play
I'm like, I know exactly what to do.
You know what?
So...
All right, Twitter's a little weird with the audio.
Yeah, Twitter.
Go ahead.
But pretty much, Drake is out here barking for a fucking 5. Like, bro, this fucking goth bitch, bro, is a 5. I'm sorry to say it. Why? Because I can go on Instagram right now and type in goth girl and 1 million of these bitches will show up. You are an average chick and you have a dude like Drake fucking barking for bitches. And the thing for I'm like, bro, do you understand like how influential that you are on men? To where dudes will be like, oh yeah, since Drake was barking at bitches, I could do that too, and I'd get a bad bitch too. No, nigga, it goes back to what he was saying, that it's like if you don't have enough status, if you don't have enough social proof, if you don't have enough, like merit behind you, you cannot be doing shit like this, bro. You can't. You will lose the girl.
And the thing that I really want y'all to take away from the video is, in this video, she is not comfortable doing this to Drake because she sees herself as lower than Drake. Hence why she's like, okay, she throws the hands up. We call it panda pause for in my line of profession. But she throws her hands up. She's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but like, yeah, I mean, like she gets scared because she's like, she sees herself as lower than Drake, but Drake is putting himself lower than her, right? So that's why she's like, bark for me.
That's why she said good boy, because
that's why
she was
said,
like, oh yeah, I'm above Drake.
Yep. And now that sets the new standard for her. Any other man that comes into her life, you're like, well, if Drake barks for me, what the fuck makes you think I'm gonna entertain you?
Thank you.
And that's why it's like, this man is fucking it up for the rest of you motherfuckers that want fives like this. Not even fives, really, but
bro,
because you take off all that fucking pale makeup, all that shit, right?
Yeah, she's like a 3 at that point.
Yeah, you take away all the fucking surgery, all that shit.
Man.
Dude, she's just a regular fucking bitch, dude.
Bro, I'm sorry to say it, but Drake is a simp, bro.
Dude,
Drake's a fucking simp. Like, my thing is I knew Drake was going to be a big problem when niggas were crying over his music.
Yeah.
When niggas were listening to his music and crying over bitches, I was like, yeah, this is going to be the end right here.
Yeah.
Because I was never a fan of Drake, really, because a lot of his music, I'm like, bro, it's just a bunch of niggas crying about bitches.
Crying in the shower.
Yeah, like, bro. I remember we used to say that all the time to people. Like, whenever people would get real mad and pissed off, we're just like, oh, you just crying in the shower.
That was
like,
fucking, that was back from the Vine days. Shout out 2013.
But it's just like, bro, it's one of those things, though. It's like, if women nowadays, I swear to God, it goes back to even what we were talking about, and this video kind of like popped off recently. It was the one where I was showing all those like really ugly ass chicks, and they thought they were hot commodities, this and that, blah blah. And I said, I was like, dude, social media has blown these women's head up so much to the point where they think that they're hot commodities, so much to the point where hoes are telling Drake to bark.
Yeah.
And then the fact that these niggas are doing it.
Yeah.
Like, bruh. I want to see if I can find the other clip. There was another clip that they had. Yes, here it is right here. Damn. This again had me fucking perplexed, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I'm gonna turn it up so I see if you guys
I haven't seen this one, but I saw the other one.
Okay.
My wife.
Damn.
Yeah, I just feel like. Yeah, I think it's more than that. You know, it's like you're just like intriguing and from Texas, and you have fangs, and I just feel like I could like learn new things. And I feel
this
like
nigga, you can't.
Hold on.
Okay. Well, we're like opposites, but I feel like opposites attract.
Wait,
yeah.
can I hug you?
Yeah.
I think we're married now.
Yeah, I know.
So
sweet.
Hi, I'll break that shit.
And for my wife, the one thing I would do would be anything you want. So you just get to pick one thing, anything in the world, and I'll buy it for you.
Wait, are you being serious?
Yeah. You don't have to decide right now, but.
If I already.
You know?
Did you buy my mom a house?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to.
Wait, really?
Sure.
Whoa.
Because she's wanting to retire and everything.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
So this nigga Drake literally was like, oh, because she was like, oh, does that make me your wife? And he was like, oh, yeah, hell yeah. And he was like, what I do for my wife is, I'd buy her anything she wants, whatever. And she was just like, what? And he was like, yeah, you don't have to say it right now. And she was like, oh, a house? And he's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Bro. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? And this is one of those, look, I'm not saying that it's wrong for like Drake to spend his money on this girl, nothing like that. My thing is she's done nothing to deserve it. Nothing but have fake tits, nigga. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing, bro?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
What are we doing? I'm like, nigga, I'm telling you, bro, rich simps are ruining it for the rest of us. And then what it is it's also showing women that, hey, it pays to be a hoe.
It pays to have audacity.
It pays to be a hoe. Like, this is just some OnlyFans chick, bro. All these girls that are on this thing, they're just,
really?
yeah, they're all OnlyFans girls.
Okay.
They're all just OnlyFans bitches, bro. These bitches, they're not doing anything special.
Makes sense.
They're showing their pussy online for $5.99. You know what I mean? And it's like talking to weird niggas all day. And they get on one show with Drake, and Drake is over here talking about, oh yeah, bro, yeah, I'll buy you whatever you want. I'll buy you what do you want? Oh, a house? All right, sure. It's like, bruh.
It's so sad too, because again, like you can see it on her. She's like, what can I get away with? What kind of audacity can I have? Because I'm here now. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
He says no.
He says no. She's in the same position. He says yes. Now that's the new standard. She doesn't have to fucking worry about life ever again. You know what I mean? It's like, bro. And this is why I always say, like, dude, the delusion that men have where they're like, oh, I can't do this, or it's not going to work out, or I won't be successful, or that's stupid, or yada, yada, yada. If I truly cannot understand the 9-to-5er mentality, right? And it to me says that you hate your fucking self, you hate your fucking family because you don't believe in yourself enough like these bitches believe in themselves.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, I mean, you got to realize, bro, the majority of people are not driven to do anything. All right, the majority of people look at it like, I'm going to get a 9-to-5 job, and that's that. You will have these people that will want to do podcasting like us, or they're going to want to do streaming, or they're going to want to do content creation, or whatever the case may be. But the thing is we kind of are in a fast food society where people look at it like, I'm going to go on the internet, and if I'm not successful, you know, in like my first 5 videos, I'm a failure and I'm just not going to do it again. It's the people who are able to fail and then fail and then fail and then keep failing and then finally have that one moment popping off maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years later, but they're still at it. Those are the people that are going to be successful. Yeah. Those are the people who, but like if you decide this 9-to-5 job is it for me, which is majority of people, bro, it just and it kind of goes back to like, you know, a lot of people are just kind of sheeple. You know, they look at it like, well, you know, my grandpa did it, my grandma and grandpa, you know, my mom and my dad, you know, my friends, everybody else, they're doing it. They're like, hey, because we got comments. I remember the clip where I was like, hey, you know, you're in the same boat as me. Like, what do you think about guys who just go to work, smoke weed, come home, play video games, and that's just their entire life? We got comments saying, and I'm gonna try to pull up that video and see if I can pull up a comment or two. There were comments saying, oh, you know, what's wrong with that? Oh, you know, I do that and my life is great. And I'm like, what? You don't want more for yourself. You don't want to strive. You don't want to see, you know, your potential, see what you could possibly do. You think like, this good enough, bro. Yeah, I'm chilling. And then you wonder why your life sucks. You wonder why you can't afford anything. You wonder why you're sitting there like, oh man, you know, I'm constantly struggling. Oh, gas is expensive. The economy, bro. Oh, that's why you niggas complain, because you don't do anything. You don't do anything outside of what you're already doing. Yep. You make 30,000-40,000 a year and you're just like, well, I can't do anymore. Yeah. And it's like, bro, no, you can't do anymore because of you. Yeah. Like,
it's all a choice. And that's why I personally, you know, do whatever you want to fucking do. If it makes you happy, then that's fine, right? You should be doing what makes you happy.
No, fuck that. You're not supposed to do what makes you happy. You're supposed to put yourself in the most uncomfortable positions, because when you're uncomfortable, you grow. Yeah. We don't put ourselves in comfortable positions and get where we've gotten. Yeah. Okay? When I got in front of this camera 3 years ago in August, okay, I was so uncomfortable filming myself, hearing myself talk about things and stuff like that, explain myself in front of a camera, talking to somebody that's not there. Bro, that was mad fucking uncomfortable. And then to top it all off, I have people that are looking at me being like, oh, bro, your teeth are crooked. Oh, bro, you can't read. Oh, bro, you can't do this. That's mad uncomfortable. But you want to know what I did? Is I kept staying in that uncomfortability, and I grew. Yep. And I fucking grew. And look at me now, 3 years later, I have a show where thousands of people watch it. There are people who are fans. They're coming into our live stream, literally agreeing with us about things, coming in saying, yo, we love you guys. Yeah. You guys are great. We're getting DMs talking about, you saved my life. Get the fuck out of here with this whole, oh, do what makes you happy. No, be uncomfortable and grow. I'm sorry to say I love you. I do. But I'm just like, we didn't get where we got for the mantra of do what you know makes you happy. No, we didn't. We busted our asses and we were put ourselves in uncomfortable positions. Because I guarantee you, even in your life, when you first did sales, I guarantee you were mad uncomfortable going to people's houses and doors.
Yeah. That was like, that's the main thing that like boosted my confidence through the roof. Is I would go to random neighborhoods all up and down, you know, the county, and I would have to tell people basically that I knew more than them about their own living situation and recommend them something to buy, right? That in and of itself, most people won't have a conversation with the stranger next to them.
Facts.
I had to have multiple 30 plus conversations a day in order to provide for my family, right? And so I dedicated myself to making sure I was damn good at it to get to where I was. That in and of itself is really a true testament to the entrepreneur mind, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I say, though, do what makes you happy, because that means you'll stay the fuck out of my way, and I'll have it that much easier to get to my success, and he'll be that much closer to his success as well, because we won't have stupid ass motherfuckers trying to block our image, our space, with their fucking bullshit of trying to attempt and fail and not hop back on and tear us down and all that shit. Yeah, I mean, like, you guys do what makes you happy. If you want to fucking put the fries in the bag, I'll take mine extra crispy, okay? Fuck, dude. For me personally, I'm not doing that. I'm becoming more and more uncomfortable every day, so that way I can grow that much more every single day, right? And you know what? They always say money doesn't buy happiness. I'm sure I'll be fucking completely upset when I have a bigger house than you, multiple cars than you, and
I'll be so depressed from all the money.
So depressed from all the fine food that I'll be eating, all the fucking trips I'll be taking. I mean, I'm sure I'll be crying in that first class fucking, pod or whatever, dude.
So I guess they deleted a lot of their comments. I went through and I tried to find their comments, but no, they deleted them. So, they deleted the comments.
And that's another prime example. Yeah. Motherfuckers just too scared to actually hold themselves to what they say.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, okay, and this is how I know a lot of people are, like, fake as fuck online, is for the simple fact that, okay, we're gamers. PlayStation has announced that they're not doing physical media, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, fuck PlayStation, oh, they're fucked up, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to support them because they're not going to support physical media. Then they shadow drop Black Ops 1 and 2, the fucking little port or whatever. All you niggas bought it.
Yes.
All you niggas bought it digital.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, get the fuck out my face, bruh. Okay, another example, GTA 6. GTA 6 is doing a thing where they're going to be showcasing, I think it's like 30 minutes or so or whatever of like gameplay on Netflix. And motherfuckers are like, oh, bro, that's stupid. All this and that, blah, blah, blah. But you already pre-ordered the game, stupid. Yeah. You already bought the game. You're going to play the game when it comes out. I already know. Yeah, and if you're not going to be playing the game, you're going to be watching niggas who are playing the game. Yeah. So it's like, shut the fuck up, bro.
And you probably going to buy a Netflix subscription just to see the early release.
You know, like, come on, man.
Even though 6 hours later it'll be released to the public.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Y'all niggas are fake as hell. Like, stop, man. And that's why I come onto the internet, bro, and I like to keep that shit real. You know what I mean? Everybody always says, like, we're good cop, bad cop. And they say he's good cop and I'm bad cop. It's funny. I was having a conversation with my dad about that shit, too, because my dad and a lot of people that he works with watch the show.
Yeah.
And, they love the show. They love our back and forth and everything. And they're like, damn, these dudes are fucking smart for as young as they are. Because, mind you, these are a lot of guys. They're between the ages, like, 45 and, like, 67. So these are very old guys. And they're like, damn, these guys are really wise and shit. But they're like, man... They're like, hey, dude, your son he's a bad cop, bro. They told me, they were like, we need this man in law enforcement. And they're like, he can interrogate the fuck out of somebody. I already know it. And I was like, bro. But yeah, bro, it just, like I said, it goes to show. It's one of those things where it's just like, I truly feel like a lot of people, when it comes to online, they present themselves a certain way, and that should just be pissing me off, man. But that's why I look at it like, yeah, man, if I'm going to be online, I'm going to keep it real with you. And it's like this whole idea of, oh, you know, do whatever makes you happy and this and that. Same thing with the whole, oh, bro, like, love is going to find you. Don't look for it and this and that. No, bro. No. No, because the thing is women can believe that, okay? Right. Women can believe the whole mantra of love will find me and the right person will find me. No, you want to know why that's true for women and not men is because men walk up to women.
Yeah.
Bitches ain't walking up to you, nigga. You can't go to a coffee shop and be like, I can't wait for that woman to walk up to me, bro. It's not gonna happen, bro.
Nope.
Yeah, that shit's not gonna happen, bro. Sorry to say it. You need to do the work, man. Do the work. I'm saying, hey, it's one of those things, but hey, I did want to plug something real quick. Hey, follow us on Twitter, bro. All right? Follow us on fucking Twitter. I be cooking on Twitter. I ain't gonna lie to you. I be fucking cooking on Twitter. I be reposting some crazy shit. I even posted a couple things from like TikTok and stuff like that. But I be posting a lot of shit on Twitter, bro. Follow me on Twitter. I be cooking. I be making bitches mad on Twitter. I do because this OnlyFans girl, fucking Camilla or Drew or whatever, I had posted some shit on her page. She blocked me, but she blocked our account because I had reposted this. And also follow Myron. I ain't gonna lie to you. Follow Myron Gaines. That nigga be cooking too. That nigga be cooking on X. But again, it's one of those things where it's just like, if you want to see just the day-to-day delusion of women, bro, I be posting shit all day on Twitter, man. Go follow us on X. Get down there, man. If you want to have a good laugh, like if you're the type of dude who thinks the way that we do about women and stuff like that and their delusions and craziness, I'm telling you, go follow us on Twitter, man. You're going to get a laugh at that shit. Yeah. I ain't going to lie to you. I be posting some shit on there.
Yeah. Follow us on X. Also, Facebook. Share us with your favorite Facebook mom.
Oh yeah, man. Follow us on
your
Facebook
favorite
too.
Facebook mom with us as well.
Yeah, man.
We love moms.
You know. Yeah. All right. So I don't know if you saw this video of this dude. I guess something happened to his son, and so he was real mad and real upset, and he was just punching women out. Yeah. He was just knocking bitches out, bro. And I'm like, yo, okay, so it's broken up into like 3 different videos. So I'll play all 3 videos for y'all, and then we'll talk about it, okay?
All right, yeah.
All right. So here.
I had seen this dude. Crazy shit.
But you killing my kid in the tapes and everywhere. That's the real issue, nigga. That's the real fucking issue, nigga. That's the real issue, nigga. That's the real issue, nigga. You sitting here playing with me, nigga. That's the real issue, nigga. July 21st is the real issue, nigga. July 21st, that's the real issue. Nah, don't wave to me. But
dead.
Yeah. And then you're gonna see her on the ground.
Nah, don't wave to me. You still talking? You still talking? July 21st. Say Elijah. Say Elijah. Elijah.
Alright. Then third video right here. I hate that they're broken up like this. Then he starts chasing this chick.
Every day hustle like William, I'm charging the chicken just.
But yeah, then he starts chasing this chick out into the street.
Yeah.
And he's yelling at her the whole time. You did this. You did this. Obviously, I can't play the sound because there's a copyrighted song. But he's like, you did this. You fucking did this. You're the one. I know it. I know it. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, bro. Yeah, see that point? You did this. Oh. So, yeah. What did you think about it when you had heard about this?
Yeah, I mean, when I heard about this, I wasn't too sure what exactly had happened to his kid or whatever. Mm-hmm. I could tell he was wronged in some way. But I think...
Well, his kid died. So something happened and his kid died.
Yeah.
And that was... Obviously, that was the first video he was talking about.
I think if you see if you're out in public, and I'm going to give this little tidbit to you white people. If you see a nigga out in public with uneven locks, that is a red flag.
And he has a phone up. Walk away from that nigga, bro.
Just in general, right?
Or if he's talking to himself.
If you see him with uneven locks, because that's not typical, right?
Yeah.
You know how we do the dreadhead kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Shake your dreads. That shit's a long process. If you see a motherfucker with uneven locks, you need to run, right? Anyways, aside from that, I don't know what this guy's issue is, but I think... like a 9mm prescription or maybe a 45mm prescription is needed, right? is that just one to the head.
Oh man.
Just so that way you can save yourself the headache, right?
Yep.
Because that woman, I mean, granted, these women had no idea that this was taking place. They're just like, oh, he's kind of.
Oh yeah,
he seems like he might be on FaceTime or something like that. I don't know. And then that first chick, I hope she does not have brain damage from what happened. But
I hope she sues the fuck out of
It's probably very likely she has brain damage because
she was out cold and he was still hitting her.
Yeah,
bro.
She didn't scream. And you know how women are when they fucking meet any type of conversation. She didn't scream. She didn't nothing. She just made that, right? She was unconscious.
She had no chance to scream.
Nothing. She was
nigga, like
dead before she hit the ground.
Yeah.
So I say that because that tells me she's had probably some serious brain damage from that interaction, right? The second chick, she got way luckier because all she had to do was run into the street and kind of avoid them and shit like that. So, but yeah, definitely if the cops see this guy, I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a prescription from their hip.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, man, and I know a lot of people are like, yo, I got 10 pills for this nigga and another bottle of another 10.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
I can reload your prescription if I need it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling you, it's dudes like this, bro, that be giving men, especially like yourself, like, look, I'm black, but you look at me and I'm a light skinned motherfucker, so they're like, oh, you can get away with it. But for you, that puts a bad look on guys like you. So it's like they see some shit like this, and then you're walking down the street and they look at you like,
yeah.
And you're like, nigga, I didn't do anything. But it's because of shit like this they see online, they see on the internet, and it just fucks it up.
Yeah,
it fucks it up for everybody else. And it really pisses me off that it's just like, bro, like we really need to like do something about that shit.
Yeah,
you know?
honestly.
Like, we got to be better as fucking black people. It's ridiculous.
But the problem is, I think the main problem is there has to be this break in seeking mental help in the black community, in the brown community in general, because Hispanic, Latino, Asian, because they classify as brown.
They do.
You know, Pacific Islander, all of them, right? We kind of get this fucking mantra of like, you gotta be tough. Mental health is a imaginary thing.
It's for women.
It's looked down upon, yada yada yada, that sort of thing. Where they look at you like you're just some type of weird being if you feel like you need mental help. But at the same time, once I heard this like a while back, I was like, damn, it really opened my eyes. If you would go to the hospital for a broken bone, you should go to the hospital to seek mental help. You should go see mental help if you have something traumatic happen in your life. Because it's the exact same thing. Something breaks within you mentally, right?
Yeah.
You would never tell someone that breaks a bone, gets fucked up, gets in an accident, and be like, yeah, stitch yourself up.
Yeah,
or split yourself.
I would never sit there like, you have kids, and if you lost a child, I would never sit there and be like, oh, Rigga, you shouldn't go to therapy for that. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, this is... No, bro. Yeah. You lost a kid, and we can understand and sympathize with that. And nobody would blame you or even make fun of you for getting help for something like that. Yeah. That is extremely traumatic. I don't care who the fuck you are. Yeah. I don't care who you lost in your family. It could be your mom. It could be your grandma. It could be your grandpa. It could be your dad. Whoever. If you lost somebody in your life, like when he lost his dad, that was extremely tough for him.
Yeah.
And that was something where, everybody in your life was just like, it is okay for you to get help. And when you did, you came out a lot better.
Yeah.
It was a very tough time in his life.
It took me years, but I still...
Of course. Because it's one of those things where it's not like your dad was in your life for 1 or 2 years.
Right.
He was in your life for your whole life.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. So, again, it's one of those things where it's like, if you lose somebody of importance, it's okay to get that kind of help because it's understandable. And if anybody is sitting there talking about, oh, no, you're weird, or oh, you're weak, or oh, you're this because you're trying to get help getting over somebody who passed away, especially a kid, oh, bro, you're the worst human being on planet Earth.
Yep.
Fuck out of here, man.
And that's the thing, too, where even when people try to, like, self-medicate or whatever, like, oh, yeah, like, I'll just fucking, talk it out or, whatever, right? Like, the idea is still there where, again, if you broke a bone, got a deep cut, whatever, the best you can do without any medical training is put a Band-Aid over it, wrap it up. That's still not going to help. It's going to heal weird. It's going to be bent and all out of shape, right? You have to go to seek professional help.
Yeah.
Granted, even in my journey, I've met people that were bad at their job. Do not let that deter you from finding someone that is good at their job.
Yeah, if you feel that like a therapist or a psychiatrist or whoever is not really connecting with you the way that you need, find someone else. There's a lot of different people. Like, I remember me and my ex-fiance, we did couples counseling. We went through 5 different counselors to find somebody who finally like understood what it is that we were trying to accomplish. Because it wasn't the fact that like they were taking her side more than my side or my side more than her side. It's just they didn't really understand or even want to understand. It was like they were reading out of a manual, and I'm just like, bro, no, because there's such subtle nuances and there's different things that, you know, circumstances that are in our relationship that are different. So it's like, if you don't find somebody that works with you, find somebody else. Find somebody that does work with you.
And you'll know, because once they start speaking, you'll be like, God damn, I didn't even, damn, you know, it's like an unlock, you know what I mean? You start to see it. And again, myself, right? They let you customize your character, basically. Like, they're like, do you want like someone that's your race, someone that's your gender? Do you want someone that's older, younger? Like they ask you a long list, and the resources that are out there that help you find the therapist, the mental health specialist that's right for you are astonishing, right? And that's why I encourage, especially the brown community to really take that step back, because again, I mean, if you're brown out there, you probably know what I'm talking about. The moment you're like, damn, like, Dad, I think I'm kind of depressed, or I'm feeling like, well, you better get in there and depress them fucking dishes, or you better get out there and depress that fucking lawn. You know what I mean? It's like, dude,
get over it, little nigga.
I understand, because parents kind of it's something that I don't know if you've experienced it, but when I was growing up, parents kind of just try to fly through things and avoid talking about like traumas or like wrongdoings or whatever. And that's where it kind of, they get the balance from, right? Where when you bring that up, they're like, if I'm just too busy to care, it won't affect me. It won't matter, right? But those kind of things stay with you and boil up later in life. You know what I mean? Especially when they go to retire and stuff like that. Well, they're retired. They don't have anything really going on. Then those kind of traumas start to haunt them and come out in different ways, right?
Yeah.
So it's just better to face those up front than to fucking, you know, be like this guy and start punching random white ladies out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
man, like that shit. Hey, and we talked about it before, man. Men's mental health is a real thing, bro.
Yes.
Like, we've already done an episode talking about this, and we even showed some videos of women that were like, "Oh, we don't care about men's mental health," which is crazy to me. But it is what it is. But that's why it's like we as men need to kind of come together and give each other mental health. Like, for me, like when I have a lot of problems and issues and stuff like that, like my guy friends are who I go to. You know what I mean? My boys are who I go to, because I look at it like, for one, they're going to understand the masculine journey. 2, they're going to actually be able to give me solutions that'll help. You know, and 3, it's going to be one of those things where they're going to be so unbiased to me. They're going to look at it like, hey, man, I'm telling you this because I love you, and I'm not going to sit here and fucking lead you astray. You know, and I think men in general are going to do that. Even if you were to ask like a random guy that you don't know and say, hey, you know, I'm going through X, Y, and Z and this and that. That man that you don't even know is just gonna be like, look, man, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. You know, you're X, Y, and Z. You got to do this, and that, bro. You're lacking. You're this. You're that. You're not working on this enough. Blah blah blah. And that's what I love about the guys in my corner, as well as just guys in general. They're gonna keep it real with you. But I think a lot of guys, like he said, people won't even talk to the person next to them, let alone try to talk to a professional. And it's like, it shouldn't be that way. You should want to talk to those people. Reach out. Find those, because there's going to be people that are going to want to help you. There are more good people than there are bad people in this world. We highlight the bad people and make it seem like there are more bad people than there are good people. But I guarantee you, even in your day-to-day life, there are more good people. There are more good, honest people in your life and that are around you day to day than there are bad people. And so it's like, you can reach out to them. You can find, you know, people, because I always tell people, I'm like, look, honestly, don't talk to your family members about like shit that you're going through. Sorry to say it, just don't. The people that are going to have your back and be in your corner the most are going to be your friends and strangers. Yeah. Why? Because they have no real vested interest in your feelings. Yeah. They're going to just tell you how it is. And if you're sad and upset about it, they're going to be like, oh, well, bro, it's the truth. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to say it, but it is the truth. Like your families, they're gonna sugarcoat shit. They're gonna kind of lie to you, tell you what you want to hear, stuff like that.
And I've always said that for me personally, blood does not make family. It's what people do that makes them family. You know what I mean? And it's something that like I've kind of had to go over with people in my life, that family could be your biggest enemy, and they have no idea, you have no idea. Unfortunately, where it takes someone removed from the situation to be like, what the fuck? No. You know what I mean? And again, like he said, if you go to a stranger and they give you some advice that like you didn't really think of, or is like nuance, or like you're like, this is like a different perspective, it's more than likely the advice you need to hear.
100%. 100%.
It's exactly that kind of thing where I challenge you, like as a man, go out to like one of your homies, go up to a stranger and like, hey, old head, can I get your advice on something? They're probably gonna be shocked and be like, the fuck? Yeah, I mean, what's up?
Yeah, a lot of times they're gonna be like, oh, what's up, youngin? What's up?
Like, what can I, how can I offer? Because what they'll do is they can take that step back. They don't know anything about you. They don't know anything about the people you speak on, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, it kind of sounds like they got unresolved trauma, or they're assholes, or, you know, they're not looking at it this way, right? And you will get the different perspective, like, damn, I didn't even think about it like that, you know what I mean? And it's because they have that removed perspective that they can look at things as a fly on the wall, and it's hard to sometimes do that for yourself because you're in the moment. So it's important to find people that you can do that, and you'd be surprised who would come up with some shit where you're like, damn, like that motherfucker actually was spitting some facts, like I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean?
I mean, the perspective is a big thing.
Yes,
it's a big fucking thing. All right, I want to get your take on this video. Obviously, you know, these are young guys from the newer generation and whatnot. And so, yeah, I wanted to see what you thought about this. I really thought this video was crazy, but.
You guys are saying that it's okay for your girl to be out here getting cracked by other dudes.
Yes.
So what's when you draw the line? Like, what? How often?
Yeah, sucking dick. If a girl...
So if she getting cracked every day, you don't draw the line right
No.
If I'm not with her, that's my fault.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I should have been with her, because I gotta watch her, bro. Make sure she don't do that, because it's in her nature.
That's what comes with it.
That's what comes with it. But if she fucks, it's like, okay, cool.
Oh,
you're a girl.
So you're saying girls are just naturally going to be out here getting cracked. Yeah, so I just got it.
Pretty much.
Are you trying to prevent it, or you just accepted it?
You accept it.
You're tender though.
You're tender about it. That's the problem that we're trying to tell you. Because why are you gonna break up with your girl because she got fucked? Nigga, she has a pussy.
What the fuck?
What is the pussy for? Yeah.
So, damn, so you can just watch your girl get cracked and not feel
I'm not gonna watch. I mean, I couldn't.
You could, like,
if he was really doing his shit and he's really like,
take some tips. See,
it's
that's
not
what I'm saying. You tender.
Yeah.
Take tips.
Yeah.
You better.
Yes. I agree.
Wow.
That's facts, bro.
Okay.
These are the niggas that be sending us scenarios. I guarantee you, bro. These are the type of niggas that be. Look, bro, he tried to sit there and say that it's in her nature. No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. Men are biologically designed to spread our seed far and wide, and monogamy is not within our biology. With women, though, it is. Why? Because women have children. The thing is women do not want to have children with a man that they don't deem viable for them, you know, that can't give them protection, provision, security. And those are the main things that women look for. And so they're not going to just be fucking. Like, sure, can girls do it for a time? Yes, that's why it's called Hot Girl Summer. And it's not called Hot Girl Life. Right. But what do they call men? They call it Bachelor Life. Why? Because he can do it forever. He can live the bachelor life. But they don't say that. There's no such thing as bachelorette life. We don't have that. We don't say, oh yeah, she's living the bachelorette life. No, we don't say that. We say, that guy's living the bachelor life. You know what I mean? Or she's just hot girl summer. The thing is women can only do this for a finite amount of time because their biology tells them, hey, this is not what we do. taking in multiple dicks and fucking other bunch of dudes and all this kind of stuff. No, we don't do this. The reason being is because for women, they need to pair bond with a man. And in order for them to pair bond, guess what? They have to feel that they're getting protection, provision, and security from that man, so that way they can then have his child. So for him to sit there and be like, oh, she's got a coochie, bro, she's gonna fuck. No, she's not. You're an absolute retard, bro. Sorry to say it, but you're dumb. You're fucking dumb. No girl is gonna have their man and just be like, you know what? I got a pussy, bro. Like, I'm just gonna go get fucked. No, bruh. No. Because it's not in her biology. For dudes, yes. For dudes, we look at it because for dudes, we don't look at sex equals love. Women look at sex equals love. Men look at acts of service, submissiveness, and, you know what I mean, duty. We look at these things as love, So, again, for men and women are extremely different. And I talked about this last week on last week's episode where that one divorce lawyer guy was trying to sit there and be like, oh, it's just human traits. No, it's not. Men and women are different. We want different things. And since we want different things out of each other, we are going to be different in relationships. And for some reason, people just don't get this concept. They're just like, no. Women are like men, bro. They just want to fuck. No, they don't. No, they don't. But see, I think it's because of the popularity of just like women being whores. They look at it like, oh, well, look at all these girls on OnlyFans and look at all these girls, doing porn and look at all these girls, at the club just fucking a bunch of celebrities and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I think since we glorify that so much, guys just kind of nowadays look at every girl and they're just like, oh, yeah, she's just fucking, bro. She's just out fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And it's like, come on, man. Like, no, they're really not. They're really not. That's why you got bitches in their car on TikTok talking about, oh, why don't guys come up to me anymore? Why don't guys want a relationship anymore? Oh, I'm getting love bombed. Like, bro, these bitches are crashing out because they want to be with one guy. They don't want to be on the dating market dating 5 to 10 guys at a time. They don't want to do it. It's the reason why they're crashing out. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, I think it's very, very interesting because I'd really want to know where they're getting this idea from, per se. Like, maybe their girls are going constantly, right? And so that's why they have the idea of like, yeah, dude, like my girl gets cracked all the time, so that's fine.
I think it's just social media. The rise of OnlyFans, the simple fact that like
You don't think they actually experience it?
I think they attribute other people's experience to themselves.
Okay.
And then so they look at it like, well, yeah, if I got a girlfriend, then that's just what she's going to be doing. Okay. So if she gets cracked by Tom at work, well, I expected that because that's what I see. That's what other people are going. Yeah. I could be wrong. And maybe you would have a different lens to that. But
I don't know. It's just, to me, it's very interesting because, I think it'd be very hard for someone to speak. Well, not necessarily, but I think it'd probably be a little bit harder for someone to speak on an experience like this without actually having experienced it. You know what I mean? To say like, yeah, you'll, get some tips and do better. You know what I mean? Or I'd have to watch her. You not there watching. That's my fault. It's like, there's got to be something in that dumbass little brain that's causing them to think like, if I'm not with my girl, she gonna get fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas we both know women don't just get fucked constantly because you're not with them. You know what I mean? Like that's not real. That's not their nature, right? Like you said, their nature is to look for that man that's giving them the provision, the security, and the resources, right? But the idea is, if that's happening, you definitely have failed as a man. You know what I mean?
100%.
So
bro.
that's that being in their nature makes sense. You know what I mean? You not being there for and them leaving and going to find that makes sense where you'd be like, yeah, that's in her nature, right? And I'm a person that's very show your cards early so that way you can get the fuck over it and do something else, right? So again, I agree with the point of if she's doing that, don't be tender about it, go do something else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't but the idea is not you should be trying to control your girl and you got to be with her all the time and yada yada yada, right? Where I just, to me, it's like I couldn't really see a point in like, oh yeah, if she gets fucked 865 times, then that's fine. Just as long as she doesn't suck dick, though.
For him, he was just like, oh yeah, is she gonna be sucking dick? Like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, he said it in the video, and I'm like, what? You'd be okay with your girl coming home kissing on you after she just had another man's meat in her mouth?
No, he said that's where he would draw the line.
Oh, that's where he would draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
If she's getting cracked, that's different than sucking dick.
Oh,
Which is like
okay.
that in and of itself makes more sense, right? Like getting cracked, I think, is less worse on the scale than her sucking meat, because she don't get shit out of that. Other than I'm pleasing this man, I'm giving myself to this man. So that definitely translates, right? I wouldn't accept either, but that translates. Right.
Okay.
If you women are out there talking about I just accidentally sucked dick or whatever,
Yeah.
that's higher on the scale than getting cracked. So that's no longer an excuse, but you guys will gaslight yourself into anything. So
yeah, because it goes back to my point previous, is like, if she's having sex with a guy, that goes to show you that she has now pair bonded with this guy emotionally in some way. Because again, women think that sex equals love. And so since in their mind sex equals love, well, if they're having sex with this guy, she has love for him to some degree.
Yeah.
Some romantic love to some degree. So it's like, bro, I'm not saying I think your assessment is entirely correct, because of the fact that she's not getting anything out of sucking this man's dick. She's just doing it solely to provide for him, or to please him. But it is one of those things where it's just like, dude, it's accepting her having love for another guy, allowing herself to get fucked by another dude is crazy work.
Crazy
to me, man.
work.
It's crazy. We talk about it all the time, bro. Dudes are just cucks.
Yeah.
They're fucking cucks, bro.
And I think the problem is adult content, right?
Yeah.
Once you watch another man get off to another woman, right? They may not be like in relation to you, but I feel like you got to be kind of weird in a way to watch another dude get gratification from another woman and constantly be doing that and feeding your brain that, and that's what plays into your mind of like, oh yeah, this could just be another instance of that, where like she's fucking some other dude and I'm just here being a cuck watching. So there's some people that get their brain fried so much from the adult industry that it just plays into their actual life, and then they can't accept that they're a cuck.
Yeah, and we know this because we've dealt with this so many times. There's so many women that have written into the show talking about, oh, my boyfriend has a porn addiction.
Yeah.
My boyfriend doesn't want to sleep with me, but he'd rather watch porn.
Yep.
And that's one of those things where it's like, in those kind of situations and scenarios, we have seen that, and honestly, these are more young guys. These are guys between the ages of 18 and 22.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think these guys were young, and since they were kind of so young, I think they're kind of in the same situation where, they watch a lot of porn, they watch a lot of these scenarios, they watch a lot of these content creators who, because, that's obviously the biggest thing when it comes to the streaming ecosystem, is a lot of these girls will stream, or they'll go on to, popular guy streamers platforms to kind of promote themselves, and so that's what they see.
Yeah.
That's all they see is these bitches who are just like, oh yeah, I fuck everybody and all this and that and blah blah blah. They have the Bonnie Blues and the fucking I can't remember the other girl's fucking name, the English bitch, but they see these types of chicks and they think like, oh, this is women now.
Yeah.
And so since this is women, I'm just going to accept it.
Yeah.
So that way I can keep fucking, and it's crazy to me. Like, dudes will literally forego their self-respect just so they can keep having sex with women.
And I think as men, right, you won't understand until you get that emotional maturity, and then the young drunk goggles kind of drop.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be like, damn, these women really are just disgusting and not shit. You know what I mean?
They're fucking useless,
You'll
bro.
understand. It'll become more of a damn, dude, I really fucking wasted my 20s doing that shit. You know what I mean? Or experiencing, thinking about this shit, dude. This is kind of fucking, what was I doing kind of thing, you know?
100%, bro.
So
100%. All right, so we're gonna get into this last video. This video, I've seen this video fucking everywhere. So I was like, dude, we might as well go over it. And I'm gonna just play the video, and then Riggy, you hop on in here.
Fucking house.
Get in the house now! Run! In the house! In the house! Get over here!
Fail.
Yeah. So we'll get that guy to shut the fuck up because this is our show. But this is exactly what I was talking about with the Nolan Welsh case, right? If my kids go over to your whatever, party, house, boat, yacht, mansion, box, right? It doesn't matter what it is. If I trust my kids with you and they do not come home, you will probably not come home ever again. And it's shit like this where, again, the entire point I tried to make with Nolan's case is the same thing that's displayed here. They, as parents, neglected the idea of this kid is just as important as our kids, and they let him run across the street dodging bullets. I would have...
Crazy.
I personally, right, and again, woulda, coulda, shoulda, whatever... I personally would have picked the kids up and ran inside.
I think everyone agrees with that.
Yeah.
He literally walked past the dad.
The dad, yep.
The dad didn't grab the kid and go into the garage. Like, nigga, what are you doing?
And I think it's a little bit different because I've also been in a scenario where bullets have whizzed over my head, so that is it's not as scary as you may think, right? But the idea is, you know, even though if we take out my lack of fear for guns and bullets out of the equation, you still should have a sense of responsibility for the children around you, right? There's no instance in my mind where I let a child run across the street or run in any direction where bullets are flying. And again, it showed in the video a bullet hit the house.
Yeah.
So they need to do immediately what gets everyone out of danger in the quickest way possible. And it's definitely not letting this 8-9-year-old boy run across the street in open area by himself.
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, again, it just comes down to what kind of person you are as parents when you act in a scenario where you're not expecting something and shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah, man. Because it's crazy to me. I'm just like, they were okay with just letting that boy. And then there's fault on the mom, too. The mom just got up and went towards the door. Grab your kids.
Yes, yep.
The fuck are you doing?
Yep.
Like, why aren't you grabbing your kid? Why aren't you wringing their fucking necks to get them into the house? Because I'd be grabbing my kids by the collars of their shirt. Like, get the fuck in here. Because that's a very real situation where, bro, I can't, your little peewee brain is not going to register that this is a dangerous situation as fast as I am. So I need to get you out of the way as quick as possible. The fact that even the dad didn't try to rile everybody into the house. Nigga, what the fuck were the parents doing at this point? Like, they put their own kids in danger as well as that kid.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
And again, I just may be a little bit more prepared, but like, it's once bullets start flying, it's a very distinct sound. You'll know what's happening because the whiz bang is very distinct in nature, right? And so from there, as long as no one's hit, you can move. It's fine. You're not moving in any one particular direction except for where the bullets are coming from is not going to get you killed. There's not really a reason as a man you should be freezing up around bullets, guns, whatever the case may be. And if you are, you need more exposure, right?
Yeah.
That is something I advocate for, is expose yourself and your family to scenarios, not necessarily danger, but like quick action response kind of thing.
Yeah, I think every man should own a gun, and if you don't own a gun, you should go to a range and actually shoot one.
Yes.
I think every man should have firearms training.
Yep.
I'm sorry to say it, but because everybody tries to get on me about, like, my thing is I believe more people should have guns. I don't believe this whole we need to take guns away and we need to ban them. No, I think more people need to have guns. And why? Because there was a recent case that happened where there was a guy, he went to In-N-Out and he started shooting up the In-N-Out. And there was a guy there that had a gun that shot the guy in the back and was able to stop him from further harming more people. And I look at it like, if there is more people who understand weapons and are safe with them, because again, there are more good people in the world than there are bad people in the world. And I guarantee you this would stop mass shootings. It would stop it. Why? Because the thing is when these guys do this stuff, they walk in there, that's why they walk into libraries, it's why they go to schools, it's why they go to restaurants, it's why they go to these places, because they know nobody is going to be able to stop me. But if more people carried guns, more men carried guns, then these guys would kind of think twice, because they're like, damn, if I walk up in there and just start trying to shoot people, I'm going to get Swiss cheesed.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's going to be 4 motherfuckers there with guns ready to stop me. And that's just, I get it. You know, it's this like crazy idea. What do you mean? Oh, if there's more guns, then more people are going to. No, I don't think so. Why? Because if I get into an altercation with somebody and I know I have a gun and I know they have a gun, well, most of the time, in a scenario like that, we're just going to kill each other. So why would I put myself in a position where we're just going to kill each other? Like, no, that doesn't make sense. Because by the time I get my gun out, he'll be able to have his out. Even if he shoots me 3-4 times, he's still going to get 2 shots off on me. We're that close to each other. We're not arguing from the other side of the goddamn parking lot or something. You know what I mean? We're pretty close. We're as close as he and I would be. So again, he'd still be able to, put a bullet in me. Yeah. I'm not going to walk away from this unscathed, but my thing is I think it would deter a lot of people, and I think a lot of people would get back to, having conversations, being able to talk about these things, or finding help, because again, they look at it like, now, would we still have some psychopaths that would still do it? Yes. But the thing is there'd be more people that'd be able to stop them. They'd be able to know, fuck it. And so, I don't know.
I see what you're getting at, because it's kind of one of those things where, like you said, if you're in a scenario where you're looking to do harm and you understand I probably won't get very far,
you might not do it.
And like you said, the exact reason these people go out and do that is because they know when they go to XYZ place, there's going to be a lot of people, and they're going to be able to carry out their mission until they get put down, right? And that's what they're hoping for, right? It's much like GTA people. They eventually just start mowing people down, and they're like, the cops will eventually come kill me, right? But if anytime you upped a weapon, you had the possibility of the next person you point and present at, they might be pointing and presenting at you, and you're not going to get very far. You're like, damn, dude, like, no one wants to be the one where you just go 1-1, right?
Yeah, exactly.
None of these shooters are trying to go 1-1 or 1-2, right? They're trying to go 1-50, 1 and whatever. You know what I mean? And not to put it in gamer terms, but that's just how I look at it.
Well, because they're trying to kill as many people as they can before they inevitably know that the cops are going to kill them. Yeah, you're 100% right in that assessment. That's why they go to libraries, they go to schools, they go to these places, because they're like, I know I'm going to die today. It's why they create what's called a manifesto. They create a manifesto because they know I'm going to die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take as many people as I can with me. And then when they read my manifesto, they'll know. It is what it is. So again, but if more people were knowledgeable about guns, and I say men mainly just for the simple fact that a lot of women are really stupid when it comes to that, but I watch a lot of like firearm instructor videos, and when women try to go in there, women handling guns is wow. It's an experiment. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, they can't even put a magazine in the gun. Like, they'll like put it barely in there, and then they'll just let it drop, and then they'll slap the bottom of the gun. I'm like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? But I just think, like you said, more men need to be prepared, and they need to have the preparation and not be afraid of bullets whizzing by and doing it. They should be able to just spring into action, know it needs to be done, and get it done. Why? Because they understand firearms. They understand what gun sounds sound like. Because I think a lot of people don't know what the sounds of gunfire, crackling, all that stuff. Why? Because you hear it all the time. Oh man, I don't know if it was fireworks or gunshots. You hear that all the time. So a lot of people assume, like, when they hear crackling and all that, they're like, it's just that. And it could be somebody getting murdered down the street. It could be some dude walking around. I know you saw that video of that dude in Arizona. He had the AR-15 and he was walking around the neighborhood and he was just shooting at people's homes.
I seen that.
Dude, it's shit like that. Think about it. Like, I know for me, if that was my neighborhood, best believe I'm getting my Glock 23 and I'm going out there and I'm fucking shooting that dude in the face. Like, bro, you are not about to be shooting up my neighborhood, my house, and all this kind. No, bro.
Because I guarantee you that the video of the guy filming out his window, oh, I'd have been like, fucking idiot smack. I would have smacked him off the fucking face of the earth, dude.
Bro,
yeah.
He'd have been like, why are you filming me? Bro, and you just got laid out in your house because you want to be filming. No, bro.
That vantage point was too perfect, bro. I would have absolutely tore that man apart.
100%. I would have walked out there, positioned myself behind him, and I would have put a couple hot ones, couple hot medicine, hot pills, right in his back.
Yeah.
And then I'd have called the police and be like, yo, this nigga was shooting up the fucking place.
Yep.
I had to put his ass down.
Put his ass down.
Yeah. And they'd have been like, thank you for being a good Samaritan, because that's what happened at the In-N-Out shootout.
Yeah.
He told the police what happened because he shot the dude like 4 times.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot him just once. He shot the guy like 4 times in the back. And so he was just like, he was like, this guy came in here. He was waving a gun around. He shot at a couple people. He killed 2 people. I sprung into action. I shot him 4 times in the back. And now he's done. I don't know if that guy died or if he's still alive, but.
And that's another thing too, is a woman actually, fuck if I know what she was thinking.
Yeah.
But a woman actually went around, because he was in the drive-thru with the AR. He had a pistol at first, but it jammed. He threw it down.
Oh, okay.
A woman ran around the drive-thru, actually picked up the gun. She couldn't clear it, and then she fucking like ran away before the other gentleman came and took him down.
Yeah.
But that's the thing where, if more people had enough competency with weapons, you'd be able to clear a jam. One, that the fact that it jammed tells me that he just either picked up a random gun that he thought would just work, or he didn't properly lubricate the pistol in when he went out initially. But whatever, right? That's just my knowledge. The idea is still there where even a dry pistol, right? If you can clear clear the jam, you can get it back up and running and then take down the threat, because clearly that guy didn't know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Typically in these scenarios, these motherfuckers don't know what they're doing with weapons, right? And that's why.
And there's the Good Samaritan shooting him in the back.
As you can see, he has a great stance. You see the gentleman with the rifle have a terrible shooting position.
Here's the gunman he's talking about right here.
Yeah, the gunman here, you can see he's locked in. He's got a good stance. He's got solid bone-on-bone structure for that for his shooting position with his pistol. And he's like, I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Yeah.
Takes him out easy. And that's why if more people
is dead. Okay.
more people were like this, it would be a way less common thing, right? And again, with schools, it's a little bit different because there's children around, that sort of thing. But the idea is still there, where if teachers were armed with guns, you can always say whatever. You can make an argument either way, really. I don't really get into that, but you can make an argument either way, because there are teachers that do bad stuff. There's teachers that don't do bad stuff. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My thing is, like I said, dude, I that's why I look at that. I'm like, you guys are thinking about gun safety the wrong way. We shouldn't be trying to take away guns. We should be trying to get more people to have guns.
Yeah.
The reason being is because, again, these psychotic crazies are gonna think twice, bro. Yeah. They're gonna fucking think twice because of a guy like him. This guy literally saw this happening and was just like, I'm not about to let him hurt more people, knowing I can stop it. Yeah. Fuck no. Yeah. I'm about to just put you down, bro. The fuck are we talking about? So again, this perfectly illustrates the reason why I say what I say. And I'm like, dude,
this is a clear skill gap that we see, that you see in video games actually pretty often, right? Because once you, and again, you put it in video game status, it kind of like dehumanizes it. But again, the point is, whenever you, Rig 4, when we're playing GTA, who are the most annoying players that we slaughter all the time?
I don't know.
They always follow us around. They're always out in the open doing whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's the noob.
Yeah.
It's the fucking noob that has no idea what he's doing, right?
He'll go after the big fish thinking, or they're on a Smurf and there's something like that.
Yeah, they go out, they do. You just look at them and you're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, they make no sense in life. They just go out, they think they're fine picking on whatever, right? This is a clear case between a noob and a veteran, right? Yeah. This fucking noob is out there with an AR. He thinks he's going to do damage. He probably was hitting at least 2 injured at least 3 dead, right?
Yeah.
Anyone with with actual rifle training, in the amount of time that he was out in the open, would have a lot more kills, right?
Yeah.
Confirmed kills. But that just goes to show he was a noob out in the fucking lobby doing whatever out in the open, and this veteran was like, fucking idiot, wait, got him with a pistol, right?
Yeah.
With something inherently marked with less range. He was able to take him down very quickly with very good accuracy.
Yeah, because if this shooter, because he has an AR pistol, you know what I mean? So he's still rocking 9mm, but he has it in a
AR platform.
Yeah, an AR platform. And so again, it's one of those things where it's like he's got the range and the advantage, but again, it's like if you got that skill gap, bro, you know what I mean? And that's why I say go get trained.
Yes.
Go to a and the thing is you can go do this at a Bass Pro Shop. Yep. That's where I got mine. That's where I got my training. I got all my training and certificate at a Bass Pro Shop, bro. I went there. They have a range. They have teachers, instructors. They'll teach you how to use your gun. They'll teach you how to strip your gun apart, clean it. They'll teach you how to load magazines. They'll teach you how to reload properly. They'll teach you how to make sure to, clear the chamber, all that stuff. They'll teach you how to do all that stuff. And the thing is you feel a lot more safer with a gun. And when you are carrying, you understand that weapon platform of your choice. You understand it so much to a point where you're not afraid of it. Yeah. I think where a lot of fear comes from with guns is
fear of the unknown.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They don't know. They look at this as like, oh my God, I can end somebody's life. I know because I was there. Before I bought a gun, I was so afraid of guns because I'm like, bro, there's too much power. Like I could end somebody's life with this thing. Now I was a hobbyist in airsoft. And you remember that. Yeah. And so, I had a bunch of fucking airsoft guns, and I loved the hobby because I loved, milsim and guns in general. But I never bought a real one because I was like, with these, I shoot my friend by accident. Oh, bro, you're good. He's got a little welt and he's okay. But if I shoot a friend by accident, this nigga's bleeding out. We need to go to the hospital because he can die. Yep. And that was my fear. But then I went through the classes. I went through the training. And I learned how to properly use my weapon, how to properly clean it, how to properly handle it and store it and things like that. And so I was like, what the fuck am I afraid about? Yep. Keep your finger off the trigger. You know what I mean? Unload the magazine, rack back, make sure that the chamber's clear. You know what I mean? They're obviously, these are very simple things. Don't point at anything you're not intending to destroy. Treat every weapon as if it's loaded. Like, these are very, very simple things. And if you learn these things, you're not going to be afraid of weapons. Yeah. And I think if a lot more people, even on the left, looked at it like, if they got the training and saw how to be safe with it, I don't think they'd be afraid of it that much, Yeah.
And that's why... in the Marine Corps, we call those rules treat, never, keep. That's how we remember, okay. Treat every weapon as if it were loaded. Yeah. Never point your weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot at or fire at. Keep your finger straighten off the trigger and keep your weapon on safe until you tend to fire, right? Yeah. So, but again, it's the idea here, if you want to look at it as like holistically, the boogeyman is only scary until you see the boogeyman for what he is, right? See his face. Because the only reason you're scared of the boogeyman, in this case guns, is because you have no experience with it. Mm-hmm. But the more experience you have with it, you realize that guns don't just float up and hurt people. Or, you know what I mean? And you start to realize that a lot of the accidents that do happen are extreme negligence on the owners and the people handling the guns. Mm-hmm. Because, again... I would never do it, but I could pull out a M16, M4, aim it at this man, squeeze the trigger with all my force, and not kill him because of the way that safeties are on a weapon, right? I would never do it because, again, that's just, you would never want to do that just to never put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, but you obviously you're talking about somebody who is inexperienced. You're putting your shoes in somebody who's completely inexperienced, never touched a gun a day in their life, and they sit there and they're like, Rigga, is this good?
Yeah.
Am I doing it?
So, even if I was in that scenario, I know I'd be safe, but it's like you just never know what happened because then they could accidentally hit the safety, put it on the 3-round, take your dome off or whatever, right? Yeah. But the idea is still, you know that safety, unless it fails, which they hardly ever do.
Yeah, that's extremely rare.
Extremely rare. Unless the safety fails, and there's a chamber round, a round chambered, I said that backwards, a round chambered, you're not going to get hurt. It's pretty damn near close to impossible to get hurt by a rifle unless someone is being extremely negligent with it. So that's just the point of what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah, man. Dude, it's just the world is crazy.
Yeah.
The world is crazy. All right. So, shit, I got to get my phone. We're going to get into you guys' we're going to do announcements. We're going to get into you guys' scenarios and stuff like that. So, give me 1 sec.
All right.
Okay. So, we're going to have to do announcements. So, youtube.com/membership. Join the YouTube membership, man. Get on into the membership. Join there for all the exclusive content. We're going to start to do some behind the scenes exclusive content. We'll probably film some exclusive behind the content stuff or behind the scenes content, if you will. So we're going to be doing behind the scenes content over there. We're going to be doing exclusive episodes over there. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. Definitely get tapped in on there. You'll also be able to listen to this episode, Tuesday's episode, and Thursday's episode completely early. So if you guys enjoy the Thursday episodes and enjoy the books and all that kind of stuff that we do, you'll be able to see that episode as early as Tuesday. If you guys enjoy the Tuesday episodes where it's just me and you guys and we react to videos and you guys' scenarios and stuff like that, you can see those as early as Sunday. So there's a lot of perks in it. There's a lot of perks. In order to be able to get the behind the scenes content as well as seeing the episodes early, though, you will have to subscribe to our tier 2. That's going to allow you to get access to all that. Tier 1 is just going to be what we did on Patreon, where we just had the exclusive episode every single month. So if you do tier 1, that just gives you the Patreon experience. We're going to be moving away from Patreon. So if you are on Patreon and you do have a live subscription, cancel that bullshit and go on over to YouTube and sign up for a membership over there, because you're going to get a lot more over there for your money, if I'm being honest with you, more than what we were doing on Patreon. So definitely get tapped into that, man. It's all the links are down in the description. If you whether you just kind of find our YouTube link, it'll be on there. If you do the link tree, it's on there. So if you guys that are live on the Instagram, go ahead and just go to our link tree, then go to our YouTube and follow it through there. If you guys are watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify, just go to our YouTube link and that'll take you there. Or you can go to our link tree link too. They're both there. It'll say join the membership on there. So go ahead and get in there, get tapped in with the membership. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have been absolutely killing, and I appreciate it so very much. Coming out every week, hanging out with your boys, watching the episodes, downloading the episodes. I do appreciate that. So keep downloading the episodes as well as rating us 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. Man, and subscribing on YouTube. Woo, man, it's a lot now. It's a lot now. Definitely follow us on X, though. I be cooking on X. All right. And then, follow Michael on his socials at Michael the Asshole, and for TikTok as well as Instagram.
Yeah. So again, thank you guys for your support. Really what it is just I like to get a lot of more visibility for the channel. So that's where a lot of, some of the more nuanced, some of the different scenarios that we have on the show are just going to be posted. So you will get, in a way, more exclusive content, because I post different things than what's on the main channel. It is mainly geared towards getting the funneling more views to the obviously the main page. But if you want more takes that I've done, or more nuanced videos, that's where that's where I'll be posting a lot of our content that may not be in the main page, or may not make it to YouTube or whatever, YouTube Shorts, all that sort of thing. So go ahead, follow me on those social medias, as well as if you have the gall to not want to hate your life, hate your family, you can follow me still on Mike Life 333, like a lot of you do, and look at my opportunity that I have in the life insurance industry, as well as you can also participate in changing your life with the financial freedom that I've experienced, that you can also cultivate for yourself. So those channels are still up. Just know that you'll get more exclusive content. There's a lot of exclusive content coming out from us, and it's going to be actually really great stuff that you guys haven't seen before. So
all right, man, we love you guys. Appreciate you getting the membership. Without further ado, we're going to get into today's scenarios, man. We haven't done this in a couple episodes. We've been covering a lot of cases and things like that, so we got to get back to you guys' scenario, so we are going to get into that. So Our first one is my friend's boyfriend cheating? Okay. So my friend has been dating this guy for coming up on a year now, and when they first got together, he seemed to be loyal enough. But then a couple of months in, he had a hickey on his neck that didn't come from her. It showed up after the one night he decided he didn't want her sleeping over. They resolved that or whatever, and then a tragedy happened, and his ex of long-term relationship started texting him, and he started texting back. He ended that, and now she's gone out of town to go visit him or visit family. Okay. The whole time she was gone, he wasn't texting at all. When she got back, he all of a sudden wanted to get his freak on. Mind you, when they started dating, they were really active. 2 months ago, he stopped doing anything like that with her. So now when she drove his car, she found this in the driver's seat, and I'll show you the picture. He isn't supposed to be driving his car at all. She's been driving it for him, and she hasn't ever had this type of nail before. So apparently there's like a chip of the like fake nail. That's what she found. She found a chip of a fake nail.
Okay.
So what do you think about that scenario?
Absolutely cheating is what it is.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And unless he's got this super busy life, which it doesn't really sound like it.
Yeah.
The idea is the change in behavior. So when you think about how things usually go for your friend's relationship, typically if you notice a pattern that it doesn't break for any reason in particular, there's a reason that you're just missing, right? And again, you're from the outside, so you're not really in there. She would know better, but again, there's also that aspect of she's probably blinded with the idea of like, this can't happen to me. Sort of
okay,
thing.
yeah. You brought this up many times on the show,
Yeah.
where like a lot of people who feel like, wow, there's a lot of those scenarios going on, but that wouldn't happen to me.
Yeah,
and then
that
it
wouldn't
does.
happen to me though, and then it definitely is happening to you, right? And again, this also goes back to the idea that women love to create drama. Right?
True.
It is even when women kind of are like participating in like the sneakiness or whatever, they still love the excitement of this will create some type of drama if this happens. So they try to like play into the idea of, oops, I didn't know this happened, or you know what I mean, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
more than likely, I feel like she kind of like chipped her nail to, you know what I mean, because women are very careful with their nails, right? They understand that they're brittle. They could chip, they could break, whatever.
That shit hurts.
And that shit does hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So either they were doing some activity in there and she was too distracted to notice her nail chipped, which is very unlikely, or in my brain, she did this shit on purpose, trying to get it caught. Because if it was in plain sight, right, unless you're some type of detective, I don't think you are looking at every inch of the car, but unless in lieu of that, she did it, she put it somewhere in plain view so it can be found by another woman. It's kind of like a test that women do where they want to see if there's another woman involved, right?
You are 100% right.
He's probably telling her, like, yeah, you're the only one I want to get with, yada, yada, yada. He's probably lying to her just like he's lying to the current girlfriend.
Yeah, the amount of times women have left things in my car after we've had a date is through the roof, bro. I've had women leave like those makeup wipes. I've had them leave that. I've had them leave perfume. I've had them leave like what are those fucking thingies called? It's to like clip their hair. Bobby pin. It's not bobby pins. It's that shit that clip their hair.
Hair clip? I mean, that's what I would call it.
Is it a hair clip? It's something like that. But I see them. I see those all over my car sometimes. And I'm like, what the fuck? Obviously, I don't have hair to clip, nigga.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know why these little hair clips are in my fucking car. But dude, hey, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Women will do that shit, and it's happened to me so many times. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? But I get it. I get
and
it.
And it's always something that signifies this was a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They won't forget anything generic like an umbrella that's like flatly colored. If it was pink, yes.
Yeah, they're gonna always leave something small.
Yeah,
it's always gonna be something, or they'll leave something somewhere.
Lipstick, nail polish.
So I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know if he's cheating or not. Like, do you think in that they could be cheating just because, she kind of like trying to set up drama.
So it could be she's trying to set up drama. However, it was what kind of stuck out to me was the hickey that he kind of just used voodoo magic to be like, yeah, no, I hit myself on a pole or something, dude. And she was like, well, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, he got hit in the neck with a softball or something stupid, dude. Yeah.
Okay, I did forget about that piece of information.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's what like sticks out to me. Where I'm like, dude, those are very, especially if you can confirm it's a hickey.
Yeah.
That's very nuanced. Yeah, I mean, very specific.
Yeah.
You don't get that just from anything, right? True. I mean, most people in life are not going to walk around and be like, yeah, dude, I just keep getting hickeys from running into shit or something hit me or whatever.
Baseballs constantly hit my throat all the time.
Yeah, like, I don't know, dude.
On,
like, that's where for me, I don't know. She didn't really specify how they worked that out, but I guarantee she gaslighted herself into believing like
100%.
Whatever that is not a hickey, dude. He convinced me.
He was like, nah, bro, like a sucker fish just got me, man. I was like,
I was at the aquarium and you wouldn't believe it, dude. The fish just jumped out, landed right on my neck, and I was trying so hard to get it off, and it just left a hickey, dude. There's plenty of witnesses. You can ask them. I'll pull the camera feed.
Yeah, she's just like, no, it's okay, it's fine. Like, I believe you. I totally believe you. So man, I get it. All right, you guys let us know what you think about that one in the comments. On to our next one. Am I the asshole for getting upset about my boyfriend's coworker constantly touching him and my boyfriend dismissing my concerns? So, 26 female here. My boyfriend is a 26 male. My boyfriend and I are currently staying in a house with some of his coworkers for a cabin trip. One of his male coworkers seemed nice when I first met him. But throughout the night, I started noticing behavior that made me uncomfortable. The coworker kept coming up to my boyfriend every few minutes to dap him up. Except these weren't quick handshakes. They were like hold hands for literal minutes at a time, and it happened repeatedly throughout the night. He was also constantly seeking my boyfriend out, standing very close to him, pulling him away from me for private conversations, and generally gravitating toward him more than anyone else in the group. I personally didn't see him interacting with other coworkers in the same way. At first, I brushed it off. After a while, it started bothering me. I pulled my boyfriend aside and told him that the coworker's behavior was making me uncomfortable. My boyfriend said the coworker was drunk and that some guys are just like that when they're drunk. As the night continued, the coworker kept doing the same things and I felt like my concerns were being ignored. I brought it up again and my boyfriend became defensive. He insisted that the coworker acts like this with everyone and that I was reading too much into it. The argument escalated because I felt like he was dismissing my feelings instead of trying to understand why I was uncomfortable from my perspective. I wasn't asking him to stop being friends with the guy. I was just wanting him to acknowledge that the behavior looked excessive and made me feel weird. So am I the asshole for being upset about the situation and feeling dismissed by my boyfriend?
You're not an asshole. You're just annoying, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
you are, bro. You're mad annoying.
Yeah,
look, I work with a guy that's like this. And, he's got a wife and kids and everything. Like, he'll come up to me. He'll dap me. We'll talk. He'll dap me in the middle of conversations. And then we'll talk. And then, he'll dap me again for no reason. This is just how some guys are, bruh. Like, some guys, they're closer with other guys in the office or in the workplace than they are other guys. That's just the way it is. Like,
yeah, I mean, and even if, right, in your brain, you're like, so there's a Conan Gray song that kind of rings into my mind because my wife listens to it, but it's about, I believe it's about a dude that likes a straight guy. It's called Heather, right? We're not going to play it because it's copyright, but I'm pretty sure it's a gay dude that is secretly in love with a straight dude, and he's just singing about how, like, you would never like me, whatever the case may be, because, you're straight, essentially. Even if it is a scenario like that, if your boyfriend is straight, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? He may not see it because he doesn't think about, like, this dude is gay. You know what I mean? Like, especially if that guy's never come out or whatever the case may be, right? And if he's not gay, it's like he said, there's plenty of dudes that are out there like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, and the only thing that sticks out is because you said minute hand holding or something like that, where I'm like, I don't know dudes that hold hands for minutes, but if it is something where he's like secretly in love with your boyfriend, who cares? Your boyfriend's not gay, is he?
Like, bro, and I think that's what she's coming at. Like, they had put sex. Is my boyfriend secretly gay? Yeah, I get it, because there are a lot of situations and scenarios that are like that. Yeah, obviously we've had a lot on the show where that's happened. So I can understand a little bit of a concern, but the thing is the reason he's brushing it off is because you're not really voicing any concern.
Yeah.
Like specific concern. Like, hey, is that guy gay? Or, hey, is he like trying to make a move at you? Like, but you didn't say any of that. You're just like, he's touching you. He's around you. Yeah. And to a guy, we look at it like, bro, that's normal. Yeah. Like, you're around me all the time. Yeah. So what? Like, why is this?
And the fact that you are like, I just want him to acknowledge my feelings. No. No.
Like, bro, just relax, have a good time. Like, why is that so hard for you?
Yeah. You're the only one in the room looking at him like they're kind of touching a lot and he's getting close. Like, okay, do something else. Why are you paying so much attention? Who cares?
Yeah, like, bro, what the fuck, man? I don't, like I said, it's absolutely ridiculous to me how, like, and I always say this, women are terrible communicators, okay? They're fucking terrible communicators, because it's why they look for this in men. They look for communication skills in men because they suck at communicating. It's like, if you would have maybe voiced the concerns that you were having, like, hey, do you think he's gay? Like, do you think he kind of like likes you or whatever? Then I think your boyfriend would have just been like, what? No, he's this and that, blah, 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 whatever.
He's got a girlfriend or
whatever.
Yeah,
he would explain it to you more, but you kind of just gave like vague concerns, so he gave vague fucking answers back. Yeah. He doesn't know what you're thinking.
Especially if you're bringing it up multiple times the same way. Like, yeah, he just touched you again. Like, well, why do you keep pointing out he's touching me, bro? Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that shit's just mad annoying. You know what I mean? You either need to communicate a little bit better on what the fuck you're talking about, or just shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, because you are being annoying.
That's just
annoying.
Really,
you are. Especially,
I got annoying just listening to that.
Because it's like, dude, if I'm out at a cabin trip with friends and everything, I don't want my girl constantly in my ear. Oh, he's touching you. He's weird. Yeah, now, if this was a girl, okay, it'd be a little different.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it'd be a little different. I'd understand your concerns, but this is a dude, bro. Yeah. This is a dude. Calm the fuck down, man. You're overreacting. Yes, you are the asshole, dude. like, stop being annoying. Let this man breathe. All right, let's get into our next one. Let me know if this was cheating. I broke up with my girlfriend this past week after almost 2 years together. I'm a 27 male. Woke up to an early. Yeah, hold on. I 27 male woke up early to get my girlfriend 26 female coffee, donuts, and give her a new Apple Watch because she had a good year of teaching and she just had her last day of school.
Idiot.
I went to her house. We usually stay at my house over the weekends, but she wanted to stay home for some reason and gave her the goodies and then left soon thereafter to go do my weekend chores. She came over later crying and I didn't know what was going on. She then proceeded to say we weren't working long term and that we should break up.
Yes, perfect.
Oh, okay. Because like him buying her the coffee and all that kind of stuff and the Apple Watch, I look at that like, yeah, that's great. If your girl's doing good things and stuff like that, yeah, reward your girl for doing good things. I don't think he's buying her that shit for like nothing. Like a lot of dudes buy girls shit for doing absolutely nothing.
But like for her doing good in her career?
Well, yeah, because I look at it like I want to show I'm supporting my girl and what it is she's doing.
Well, so what I would, I'll let you finish, but yeah, I'll talk about it after.
Okay, all right. This caught me extremely off guard as we were doing really well and talking about financial futures and have made timelines for getting engaged. After a long night of conversation and crying, we decided to finish that conversation the next day. She went home and came back the next morning and then said she had to share something first. 4 days earlier, she had called her ex late at night to catch up and reconnect, as she called it.
Yep.
Then the next night, when she would usually come over to stay the weekend, she said she didn't want to because she had to pack for a trip in the morning. When I came over to give her all the gifts, she felt really bad and thought the only solution was to break up with me, so that's what she tried to do. But now she doesn't actually want to break up and wants the relationship to keep going. I was stunned at that, and given some of her history and some of our incompatibilities, I think we should in fact break up. I don't know about just calling an ex and to catch up and reconnecting is considered cheating, but it doesn't feel right and not something I want to see play out long term. So could use some other people's thoughts on the situation. Did I overreact?
No.
No, after finding that out, hell no.
Yeah. The idea is, so this is what I was getting at, is clearly you're boring. That's the problem here. You're boring her to death. You got her some donuts, coffee. That's fine, right? Because women love sweet treats. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
The Apple Watch, you're like, oh, babe, you did so good at teaching all year. Here's an Apple Watch. What the fuck is that for, right? And that's not to say you can't reward your girl, but the idea is it's not really tailored to her, right? Unless has she been ranting and raving like I need an Apple Watch, I want an Apple Watch, I can do so much.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming, is that it was something she wanted.
I mean, we're assuming that, right? Because that's where it would make sense.
Yeah.
But if it's not that, then it's like you just gave her a random gift. You know what I mean? But where I get into the idea of he was boring was she wanted to reconnect with her ex, right?
Yeah.
Because
he was exciting.
Whatever. She was like, let me reconnect with him, right? There was no drama in your relationship. There was nothing going on. She got bored and was like, I think we need to break up after getting those gifts. Because if it was really something where she felt like, hey, I earned this, I was doing so good in our relationship, and my man makes me feel like I earned this, she would still be infatuated with you, even after those conversations of having long-term goals together, right?
Yeah.
But she looked at this and was like, okay, yeah, more gifts that I don't really give a shit about. You know what I mean?
Oh, so okay, you're kind of like coming from the lens of he probably does this all the time.
Yeah, it's an all the time thing.
He buys her gifts all the damn time. She doesn't really do anything for it.
Yeah, she was just, especially because her career has nothing to do with your guys' relationship. It's to you, it says like I'm being supportive, but to her, it's just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like it's like when kids, you're working hard at work, right? And kids give you like you did so good kind of birthday gift, you know what I mean? Or you did so good at work kind of gift, you know what I mean? You're like, oh wow, thanks so much, babe, and then you forget about it after a million of them pile up kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they're showing they support you. You want to show them like, hey, I don't want to shoot you down. But at the end of the day, how do you really feel about the gift or the card or the paper mache, whatever, right? And so that's what I'm looking at, where for her, she's like, yeah, this is like $1,000 watch or whatever, or not $1,000, but like a couple.
They're like $500 to $800.
Yeah, a couple $100 watch. And she's like, yeah, okay, you know? And I say that because, again, I have given my wife gifts that are expensive, but she hasn't really used, because to her, they're like, dude, that's a gift, but like, I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't interest me, or that doesn't really say anything about, you know, where it's coming from, the sort of thing, right? So, and then again, she started talking to her ex. She's like, this will stir up drama. She decided to then break up with you to try to stir some emotion in you. You were like, I don't know, actually. And then she realized in her mind, this is the emotional excitement I kind of wanted. Things are kind of going, you know, where I want them to go. I'll cry it out. I don't really want to break up. And she's hoping that this kind of loop can happen, or you can inspire something like that in her through some other means. And when you were like, yeah, dude, like after seeing that you wanted to reconnect with your ex, I don't really play that shit. And this just comes from the idea of women will stir up their own drama if nothing's going well, right? If you, like the person that wrote in, if you look back on your life or on the relationship and see like, no, things were kind of going great, like everything was going smooth, we didn't really argue, whatever, then you can start to see what I'm getting at is shit was just boring for her, because women need drama in the relationship. As much as it's a fucking headache, you still need to orchestrate like, hey, yeah, drama, we're scared, we don't know where this is gonna go, because the certainty in it is just gonna bore the fuck out of her, and she's gonna look for something else, right?
Yeah.
I.e., she was like, let me reconnect with the ex to stir up some drama. She did just that. Now she's hoping that you guys can play this game of push, pull, whatever. Because I guarantee you get back together with her, you hit her with the same shit. Like, oh, I started talking to my ex. She'll be like, what? That's unacceptable. And she won't leave.
Yeah.
Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm getting at. And it's going to be a hard concept to absorb because we're men. We're very straightforward, very logical, very like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But women are not the same. No. Women will swear up and down they hate whatever, but then their actions prove completely different.
Bro,
We've seen that.
We showed a video of that girl who got essayed by her boyfriend, and then her friend went to go talk to the guy.
Yes.
And then she slept with the dude.
She was like, I bet you overpowered her, huh? How did you do it? Did you like throw her on the bed? And that was the whole conversation. She was there to be angry, but then she was like, that's unacceptable, but how did you do it? And then she slept with him.
Yeah, that's the concept of don't believe what they say, believe what they do.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's exactly why she stirred up this drama, started crying, and then she was like, I think we should stay together. Okay. Because she just wanted the excitement, brother. You just got to create that in some form or fashion, right? The woman will only stay if she believes that you will walk out and find something better than her. That's keep her
extremely true.
That will keep her on her toes of like, dude, I got to do better. I.e., which is why I was like, dude, you bought her an Apple Watch for doing good in her career. She's going to fucking hate you for that.
Yeah.
And which is why she was like, after all these gifts, that didn't make her stay, right? She said, I wanted to break up right after that.
Yeah.
That's proof in and of itself. You got to understand, create the drama. It's going to be weird. It's not going to make any sense. Create the drama, and you'll see, like, damn, she's actually doing a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we talk about it all the time. Like, we talk about mate choice copying all the time. Dude, it's like when women see a man being admired or admonished by other women, they will find you more attractive. It's a biological thing, bro. It's just the way it is. That's just ingrained into humans in general. It's why celebrities exist. It's why famous people exist. It's why, there will be a million people looking at one person on stage. That's the reason for that, is because of mate choice copying. That obviously doesn't have to just apply to relationships. That applies to just, people in general as far as idolization. And so again, you have to put yourself in a position where, other women want you. You know what I mean? And she feels like, I got the best possible guy. Because if she doesn't, boy, that hypergamy gonna kick in real quick, dog. It's gonna kick in real quick. I even have a picture of that, the whole hypergamy chart. Where that shit at? Here it is, right here. Oh, it's gonna open up on the wrong thing. Yeah, this shit right here. Like this is kind of how, this is pretty much what it is. It's like that shit's gonna kick in nice and real quick.
Yeah.
So again, it's just one of those things where it's just like, you have to be that guy at all times.
Yeah. And again, it logically will not make sense, and this is what men will really not understand.
Yeah, that's what they'll trip up on. Huh?
They'll trip up on it, and they'll push too far, and then they'll be like, you see, it was wrong. Or they won't push hard enough, and then they'll be like, you see, it was wrong. No, there's a dance, there's a ebb and flow to it. And that sort of thing is what will really cultivate her staying and being in her feminine the most. You know what I mean? So it's hard to explain because it's not logical, but what you'll have to do is play the game and see where your girl ends up on that ebb and flow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, you guys let us know what you think about that one down in the comments. All right, this will be our last one for today's episode. This one is, am I nagging? Am I overreacting for feeling emotionally drained after sex with my boyfriend? My boyfriend and I kept having the same issue every time we had sex. I'm getting to the point where I don't even want to anymore because something always ruins the moment. For context, he tends to think kissing is enough foreplay, but I need more than that. A lot of the time, it feels like he just tries to put it in before I'm fully ready, so I have to ask for more lubrication before sex. I make sure I'm clean, showered, brush my teeth, and etc. And I feel like I put a lot of effort into making the experience good for both of us. I don't feel like he puts in the same effort. This morning before work, we had a quickie. I asked him to add more oil because I wasn't ready. He ended up pouring a ton of oil on me, and I wasn't even mad about that. I just said, dude, that's all my oil. Instead, he was like basting you like a chicken. He was just like, yeah. Instead of trying to make the moment intimate again, he started giving me like slow strokes while repeating, asking, you feel it? You like it? You mad? Okay, I don't know why you mad. That's weird. It felt like he was just asking questions instead of actually paying attention to what I needed or trying to reconnect with me. Eventually, he said, okay, and it felt like he expected me to fix the mood. I told him that he poured out all my oil, gave me slow strokes, and kept asking about them instead of just making the moment intimate again. He instead silently tried to hug me, but by then I felt grossed out because this is a repetitive issue. Every time I try to communicate what I need during sex, he gets defensive instead of listening. He left for work, and I waited for him to say goodbye because things already felt awkward. He just walked out. When I asked, really, no bye? He said he already said goodbye. He didn't. That hurt because it felt like he was just denying what just happened. I later texted him explaining that this keeps affecting my mental space and that every time we have sex, something ends up ruining the moment instead of feeling closer afterwards. I usually end up feeling emotionally drained because whenever I try to tell him what I need, he gets defensive. Am I overreacting, or does this sound like a communication issue that keeps repeating? I genuinely want to enjoy intimacy with him, but I'm starting to associate it with frustration instead of feeling close. You don't like your man. Okay? You don't like your guy. I'm sorry to say it. Women get turned on in the cerebral. Okay? Women get turned on by their man in their head. Okay? When women approach sex, they are already turned on at the fact that they look at their man as he's a leader, he's a provider, he is a dominant figure, he is the man, he has this masculine, manly energy, and that alone, and the things that obviously that comes with it, his ambition and his this and his drive and all that comes all together and it comes full circle. And in your mind, you're already turned on. The coochie's already wet. The waterworks are already going. The fact that yours aren't goes to tell me that you're not into your guy as much as you think that you are. You're just not. You'll say that you are. You'll say, yeah, no, I love him and I want to have sex with him. He's great and he's attractive, but I don't think you actually feel that way. And your body is telling you that. Your body's telling you that, nah, you don't really like this guy. You don't really find him sexually arousing. You may find him like attractive. You may find him, fun to be around. You may like his personality. You may like who he is and stuff, but you are not aroused nor attracted to this man. And that's just what that comes down to. And I'm sorry to say it, but it is what it is. And your body's biological responses are loudly telling you that. And it's why you're getting frustrated. And it's why you're being upset, because you're literally fighting your own body telling you, nah, we don't really fuck with this dude. We're not really attracted to him like that. But you keep trying to tell yourself, no, we are. We like him. No, we are. And that's why you need all this foreplay. That's why you need all this extra. That's why you need lube and oil and all this other crap. I'm telling you, bro, you're what? 20 something? How old is she?
They're young. 100% they're young.
Yeah, they gotta be young. She didn't put her age in there, but dude, I guarantee you, you're young enough to where you can get wet without lube, bro. You're not 45, okay? You're not in your 40s. Like women who are like late 30s or into their 40s, they have the menopause and all that kind of stuff, and they're drying up. Bro, you're not there. You're not there, and that tells me again, your body is like, we're not interested in this guy. I'm sorry to say it, bro. You're just not into your guy.
And so to add on top of that, I think you're 100% correct. But I believe it is his fault.
Oh, 1,000.
It is his fault.
1,000%.
He doesn't know what he's doing, and that's why biologically in that subconscious part of your brain, your body's like, dude, what the fuck is that? Your body's getting the ick, and that's why you can't become fully immersed in what's happening.
Well, see, I think she knows, and she's just denying it.
Well, yeah, that too.
She's like, I know
possibly.
my guy is inadequate. I know my guy is not X, Y, and Z, but no, I love him though. Like,
well, there's a disconnect between the conscious and subconscious sometimes. You know what I mean? You may feel an emotion and then put a wrong label on it because people do it all the time. So
yeah, and I'm sure mainly women, they're ruled by their emotions. So I'm sure, like you said, she feels that way, but I don't think that's actually what it is.
I think what it is, like you said, is she's feeling it, and then she's like, well, I'm supposed to like this, so what's going on, or like, you know what I mean? And the reason he's getting defensive, this is a key point, the reason he's getting defensive is because he knows he does not know what he's doing.
He knows he's lacking.
This is a clear sign that you guys are both young. He does not know what he's doing with the female body, with the female psyche. And so he gets defensive because he doesn't want to address those inadequacies.
Yeah, it embarrasses him.
Yeah.
Show
him this episode. Brother, there is not anything more rewarding than knowing what you're doing. And you have to have the humility to be like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's explore. Let's experiment. Let's figure out what I could be doing better so that way you see me better, right?
Honestly,
honestly
though, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as a man, and your girl is able to be attracted to you enough in the cerebral, like I said, you're doing what you got to do. You're competent. You're strong. You're doing what you need to do. She's already gonna be wet, ready to go, bro. Like, I understand, like you said, knowing what to do with the female body, but a lot of times, bro, like, think about like celebrities and things like that. When women have sex with these guys, they're just laying that bitch down, sticking their dick in them. Like, there's no foreplay and this and that. No, because in her mind, she already knows that this guy can give me the protection, provision, and security that I'm looking for, and that's hot. Why? Because he's doing X, Y, and Z to show that. You, I don't think, are showing anything. I think that's where the Riga is right, is that you're inadequate. And your girl's inability to be wet with you in the bed is a direct reflection of your inadequacies. Whatever that may be, you're not working hard enough, you're not making enough money, you're not making her feel safe enough, you're not making her feel secure enough, you're not making her feel something enough, and it is lacking, and her body is telling her, hey, this dude is lacking.
Yeah.
And
I think we're saying the same things. It's just it's not as drawn out as I may be making it seem.
Well,
right?
I just don't think it's sex. I think it's more of like he doesn't know what he's doing, like
as the provider, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
So that's another aspect of it. 100%, right? Because if you look at your man as incompetent, like, that does carry over into the cerebral, the bedroom, all that kind of stuff. So yes, the inadequacies remain probably through and through, right? And that's the idea where he's like giving you slow strokes, and he's like, "Are you mad, babe? Are you mad? You look mad, babe. Are you mad? Are you mad?" And you're like, "Dude, shut the fuck up," because he knows, like, dude, I'm inadequate and I don't know what I'm doing, but I want like reassurance from you. Where a man is gonna know, like, dude, get the fuck on that bed. You know what I mean? You're done. You're cooked. You know what I mean? And of course, you're gonna get your happy. Whatever, right? I won't go too far into it, but of course the idea is, like, if he was really that dude, you'd be a lot more turned on. You wouldn't need the oils. You wouldn't need whatever, right? You definitely wouldn't need the oils. You would need a lot less foreplay than you think you need, right?
Exactly.
And so there's that idea of, because obviously a man that walks through life would be able to have foreplay be him walking through life doing what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That would be the foreplay where she's like, dude, I'm turned on. Like, I need to fucking have this.
Yeah, the foreplay is he's doing everything he can do. He goes to work. He's competent. He can teach me things. All this stuff will culminate into you being sexually aroused right off the bat.
But yeah, the problem is with him is he's not doing any of that, and his defensiveness is showing that he knows, he's just scared to face it. And you either got to sit him down and be like, look, dude, I get it. It may be embarrassing, right? But this is like us fucking, I mean, if you want to have this conversation, this is embarrassing. But if you want things to get better, you got to face those things you're trying to avoid. Mm-hmm. If not, I'm going to fuck someone that knows what they're doing. Stupid.
Yeah. I mean, you know, look, we're not like, okay, to the question of is she nagging? Answer, you know, because obviously that's the question she asked. So what would be your answer to that? Is she nagging in this scenario?
No, I wouldn't consider this nagging. Nagging is like something where you're just looking at a situation kind of from your lens, and neither side is really wrong, but you just want to be right, or you want things to go your way.
Okay.
This is not that. This is your man has an actual challenge he needs to address, and he's not doing so.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's nagging either. I think this is just a glaring inadequacy in your man.
Yeah.
And I think you just don't want to see it because you like him, you like his personality, you like who he is, and all these kind of things. But again, your body is telling you, bro, this ain't the guy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say this ain't the guy.
Yep.
And I've always said it. I even said it earlier in this show that it's like, for women, sex equals love. So the fact that you're unable to have sex with him goes to show you really don't love him. You may say you do, you may think that you do, but the fact that you can't have sex with him and now sex is becoming a frustration for you, you don't love him. And it's okay. Why? Because you don't want to have to deal with inadequacies within your life, and you're also looking at it like your biology is telling you, hey, if we have this man's kid, he can't take care of the child.
Yep.
You know, and that's the reason why women look for security. They look for provision. They look for these kind of traits in men, because they look at it like, if I have a baby with you, I need to make sure that I am provided for and I am protected. You know, it's just the way that is. And so you're not wrong for thinking the other way and being like, you know what, I got to break up with this guy.
Yeah.
You're not wrong for that.
Yep.
He needs to be adequate in being a man in a relationship. And if he's not, he should not be in a relationship. Just the way it goes, man.
And that's how we know you guys are young, because a lot of younger men will have this disconnect of like, oh, I didn't know, like, you know, how I was as a actual person plays into that subconscious safety that women look for in order to have, you know, the capability to get wet just like that, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. So it's just a big disconnect where, you know, especially where he's like, all day he's been a bumbling idiot, and then he gets turned on and tries to just stick it in you. Of course you're going to be dry and need lube and whatever, dude, because, you know, you're like, dude, like, why is this fucking idiot trying to touch me? You know what I mean? And you're not getting it because, well, either you are getting it and you're ignoring it, or you're not getting it and you just need to come to face the terms of like, your man's a bumbling idiot that needs direction.
He does. All right, that's going to go ahead and be today's episode. Thank you guys again for watching and listening and all that good stuff. Thank you to everybody who came out to the live stream and hung out with us and stuff. You guys are the real goats, and we appreciate you guys for hanging out. Again, YouTube.com/membership, man. Get on down in the membership, bro. Get exclusive content over there from your boys. Get behind the scenes content, as well as getting the Tuesday, Thursday, and the Sunday episode entirely early, man. Get on in there. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff happening over there, so join that up. We're going to be moving everything from Patreon over to the membership, so we're getting away from Patreon, and we're moving on into our membership. So that's where we're going to make home base. That's what we're going to be doing over there. So definitely get tapped in over there. Thank you guys, audio listeners, for all the support. Keep coming out every week, downloading the episodes, rating us 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribing on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter, man. We be cooking on Twitter, bro. I be cooking all day on Twitter. So if you want to like find some funny shit over there or whatever, definitely tap in with your boy. All right. Get in with your boy over here at Michael the Asshole on TikTok as well as Instagram for his side of the exclusive content that we do over here. He'll be doing clips and stuff like that over there. Hopefully pretty soon. I don't know when you plan to drop things.
Yeah. So just follow the page. It'll all be coming out, rolling out one by one. So thank you guys for your support and all the appreciation, the love, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, all right. We'll see you guys next. Well, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. He'll be back next Sunday. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace.